going on? Not much. Oh, damn it.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
Yo, what's going on?
Not much, man.
Pinning them all. Pin them all.
All the pertinence.
I was trying to make one message to pin, but then we ended up pinning them all individually because I kept hitting enter instead of like clicking forward.
Well, they're all at the top now.
It's the good stuff. How was your trip, man? Did you guys like rush back?
No, we left a little bit early because there was a weather advisory for 4:41. They were going to shut the road down at 12, so we ended up rolling through the barricade at like 11:52.
Ooh. So they were shutting down for the fires?
Well, no, it was fucking snowing on top of the mountain.
Oh.
Oh, did you have a nice drive here from Smokies?
Yeah, it was good.
One of the cleanest rest areas I've ever been in on the other side. On the Georgia side.
Oh, yeah?
It's a nice bath. I love that drive. Although the first time I did that drive, there's part of it where the road loops under, like it's a bridge, and then you go under the bridge. And I was just looking at it on Google, and it just looks like a loop-de-loop on the road.
Hey, John.
What's up, gentlemen?
Yo.
Trey, I thought you weren't going to be here.
I didn't want to commit to it because I wasn't sure what time we'd get back. We ended up leaving a little bit early.
Saucy motherfucker. I love it.
All right,
So, cold in Oklahoma, John?
Fuck yeah, dude. It's so cold. Like, it was like 86 degrees the other day, and now it's like back down to fucking 50 with a 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gust. My allergies are all fucked up because of the dust. I'm cold as shit.
we have a freeze warning.
Yeah, yeah. That same fucking cold front that's hitting you, or I guess like hit you guys originally, is fucking just blowing everything down over here, bro.
It's dropping tonight over here. Down here, I mean. It's
Got to
gonna
get
be
that.
35 this morning.
Got to get that last.
I mean tomorrow morning.
That last cold air through.
Which is great because I have to go to landfill tomorrow morning.
Oh, that sucks. Right on top, baby.
Do it at 35. But whatever.
Hey, at least it's not the fucking rain, though. I've done it in the rain, and then you're like covered in mud. And
I skipped that. I skipped that day.
Yeah, that's rough. The watch together is not working. Oh wait, maybe this other
Yes,
link.
it is. Your face is not working.
It says invalid access code. Please use a valid invitation link.
Well, everyone else is in there.
Maybe I used the wrong link.
I'm not.
I used.
Everyone but you two are in there.
Okay, so two of them didn't work for me.
Now I'm in. So it's on you, John.
I've used both links, and then both links are like, it's invalid. Oh, try again. No,
I
it doesn't like
love
it.
putting on Watch Together and just having my eardrum blown out because it's on fucking high
Deathcore.
volume.
Is it on deathcore?
I wish it would save your audio settings from the last time. But
It
not.
does. It does if you have an account.
I have an account. I'm the one that created the rooms.
Well, it saves mine.
Well, you're special. It likes you.
Hey, Chris, what kind of microphone are you using?
It is the MXL. I can't remember what the actual name is. Why is it still really soft?
No, I'm starting to gather.
Shop.
Yeah, I'm window shopping at the moment.
Trey might have some like better knowledge of that stuff. I know he like looked into a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. Although I like this one, it's nice. You can use all the like basic attachments. It's like a normal size.
I know. I just saw this review. I was just watching this review before I logged in on this one. That's like it's like $60, and the guy, like one of the guys who was using it, was just like, "I'm surprised it works this well." He's like, "It might not work this well a year from now, but."
The Blue Yeti or what, something like that?
No, it's like it's like newer. It's like NEEWER.
Oh.
Like he reviewed like
It's newer.
something like that. It's like a $60 thing. Like the whole kit had like the boom arm. It had everything with it. And then it was like the 700, and then he looked at the 800. He's like, the 800 sucks. It sounded like 1940s Radio Man. You know?
I mean, that could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I know. Yes.
Well,
If
that's
it's
what-
intentional.
I think that's what he said. He's like, so if you want to have part of your recording sound like a 1940s, like, and our boys are gonna get him in the war, like, he's like, go for it. He's like, but if you want a mic that's not gonna make your listeners want to rip their fucking ears out, like,
As the
If you were-
jackboots continue the march through Paris.
yeah, right.
There are some games that you would be playing that
That was
might
really well
actually be
done.
an added effect.
It absolutely could. But yeah, like I'm slowly. We are hitting a boom time right now with work. So
Nice.
So time to buy everything.
yeah, you know what? I have the buffer is in place, like for when the shit hits the fan. So like it's not like it's technically not extra money, but I also haven't updated anything on my computer in about 8 years. And it's starting to show its age. Yeah.
That's
Well-
good. That's a good amount of time before hitting that wall.
Well, I mean, because I usually because I build my own, so when I do like, I'll go like whatever like top tier is, I'll go like either 1 or 2 tiers down from that, and then I just ride it until it
Yeah.
dies.
Nice.
And it's it's worth the money. I need right now, like, I think I built one out and it was like $3,400. I was like, that's not bad. I mean, the funny thing, well, it was $3,400. 900 of that was 3 new monitors, and then like a third of the price was the fucking video card, because video cards are like,
Yeah.
here, let
Ridiculous.
me just give you a colonect, like a, let me just take your whole colon out. It's fine.
Partpicker.com is a dangerous
Yeah.
website.
Newegg too. Part picker, Newegg, like combo. That's what I did. I made mine and I built it and got 2 new monitors and lighting and all that shit. And it was $2,600, but the video card itself was like $900 of that.
Yeah.
$1,100. It's like now $1,100 or $1,200 of it, but when I did it, it was $9.
No, but the chips are so fucking expensive right now.
Yep. I got into the watch together, but you know what? It was Trey's link, not yours, Chris. So I don't know.
You may. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have an account with Watch
No.
Together? Okay. It may benefit you to make an account because then it'll keep track of any rooms that you've logged into and you can select them that way.
Okay.
I pulled the URL out of Watch Together and put it into the Discord.
Well, that worked.
Try the one for. Is that the one you clicked on in the Spectres of Spice and Shadow Discord?
Yep.
Hmm.
That's the one that worked for me. The other one, the one in the Dune one, did not work, and I don't know why. It kept
That
saying
pulled
invalid
you
room.
to. That took you to my Watch Together.
I'm listening to Sci-Fi Intense Electronic Epic Music Weekly, Volume 14.
I think
That's
that's
what-
it.
That's what we're listening to.
Yeah, if you look
That's
up in
pretty
the
fucking
top
awesome.
right where it's got the URL, it should say Dune Spectres next to it.
Dune
Oh,
Spectres,
yeah.
yep.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, you're in the right list then.
Why'd you
That's
think intense sci-fi was wrong for the Dune
Trey's like,
section?
I have so many musics, bro. I have so many musics getting keep track.
I did build a Dune list.
Have any of you guys started watching Moon Knight?
Yeah, I've watched both episodes.
What do you think?
That's pretty fun. I was talking to a friend of mine who is actually a really big Moon Knight fan, and he was actually pretty excited about it. I don't know how much you know about Moon Knight. He was talking.
I knew absolutely nothing going in.
He was telling me that in the comics, there's actually 3 different versions of Moon Knight, where like one is like
It's personalities.
one's like a split personality, one is like a guy in prison, and then one is like not real.
Right.
And yeah,
They're saying they're maybe gonna do that with this. Like it's like dissociated and like
well, Oscar Isaac's killing it with the
yeah,
acting.
yeah. Have you guys started watching Halo yet?
I have.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, man. Like I know there's a bunch of people like, oh, it's not canon. I'm like, it's fun. Fuck it.
Who the fuck? It's a fucking video game movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's good for a video game. Yeah,
look,
exactly.
Here's the takeaway things you need for Halo, right? No one's actually good. Aliens are worse.
Right.
Ring bad.
Yeah.
Things blow up.
Yeah.
If you have that, like you're pretty. It's Halo.
I already
What's
saw
that
the
one
fucking
on?
sword. It's on Paramount.
Paramount.
It's only through 2 or 3 episodes in right now. It's every Wednesday. So,
Too many fucking streaming services.
dude,
My
my new
problem with
favorite
fucking-
thing. I'm so excited, guys. I love the show The Expanse, and they just like last month, I guess technically, but I found out yesterday that Expanse was picked up for or Wednesday. That Expanse got picked up for season 7, and I am so fucking hyped.
Really?
I'm so hyped.
By who?
I don't know. They just confirmed it. Season 7 officially picked up. I was
Huh.
like, oh fuck yeah.
Are they bringing back the same cast, or are they doing a time jump?
No, I mean there was 3 more books, man. So I don't know.
Huh.
I haven't read
mean,
the
I
books.
thought they tied it off pretty well. I mean, I figured they stuck the landing. I liked how they left the series
fuck
off,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
if they're gonna do more, I'll watch it.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm interested. I'm wondering if you get to meet the creators.
Don't worry, Trey. The
Or
next
the
3
builders.
seasons will be all about the message.
Oh, great.
be
Chris,
awesome.
did you see my my comment?
Ixie and Damper. Hell
And
yeah.
Aaron is sexting.
So,
Oh,
I did see it. Okay.
in the chat log. In the chat log.
Yes, you can.
He is sexting though, I believe. I think he is on a date with a lady.
Is he? Well then, fuck him.
I think he told me. He said he was gonna be like 20 to 30 minutes late, and he'd let you know. So,
Well, he didn't.
well,
So-
that bitch.
Motherfucker.
Good for him
All
for lasting that long.
Yeah. So fuck it.
Dude, so Trey, did Carly tell you next Saturday we're hanging out?
Yeah, and your girlfriend coming to town?
Yeah, she's coming in. She's coming in on Wednesday, and she knows
Okay.
that. So I think she's a keeper though. She's coming in on Wednesday, and she knows that D&D night for my group is on Wednesday, and she's like your game's on. I told her I'll cancel the game, and she's like no, she's like I'll just go take a nap. You play. I was like, what? It's like all right.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, I'm excited about that. Anyway, personality traits. I am an asshole. How does that work?
You can put asshole down if you want. That is a perfectly acceptable.
To be
choice.
fair, there are 3 types of people in this world: dicks, pussies, and assholes.
So what counts as assets? Like,
So I think most people didn't have assets down. Assets can be tangible or intangible items, and there is a list of assets in the book, like a rough list, but it can be anywhere from like a blade, like a knife, to like an ornithopter can be an asset, to like you can have like a group of soldiers if you want to do it for like warfare purposes. You can have like open-ended blackmail material, so you can put down like blackmail material, and then you can choose later in game like who that blackmail material is on. So
okay, so I definitely want. Yeah.
but so there's a quick little I guess rundown before we jump into it. There are 5 different types of conflicts in Dune. There's like duels, which are like literally like old school duels, person v person, physical fighting. Skirmishes, which are like the majority of your, like, if you think D&D combat, like small group versus small group, that's like a skirmish. Then you have like larger warfare, like strategic warfare, where you're talking like you're kind of a general, almost like Command and Conquer style, like here's my battalions or here's my ornithopter groups, and like attacking cities and shit. And you're normally not directly involved in that sort of thing, but you can more like direct it. It may lead into other stuff, but who knows. Then you also have espionage and intrigue conflicts. And so blackmail materials are most of the time used on like espionage or intrigue conflicts, which is when you're like either trying to get something out of someone politically for like an intrigue conflict, or if you're trying to like steal information, or the espionage is pretty like straightforward if you're trying to like sneak in and collect information or assassinate somebody or something like that. So yeah, so a lot of those open-ended like blackmail materials and other stuff will be used. They could be used in like just the general role playing too if you want to, but most of the time it'll either, if you choose to use it, it'll either trigger one or it'll be used during like an intrigue conflict.
Okay. I can have a las gun, right?
You can also have a las gun, yeah. Just if you're unaware of Dune in general, though, if you fire a las gun at somebody who's wearing a shield or at a shield in general, it creates like an atomic explosion and everyone dies. So
Nice.
Just be aware. And
Everyone dies.
It's also a violation of the convention.
if you cause the atomic explosion, not the laser guns.
Well, no, that's the reason people don't fucking carry las guns anymore.
Fair enough.
Well, then why would las gun be even like a battle skill? That seems a little fucked up.
Because
a
some
thing
people are
people-
fucking crazy.
It's a thing people still use, but I think what he's saying is basically just don't go around flashing the fact that you have, you don't
Well,
like,
I mean,
So wait, so like
are shields common in every level of society? You know what I mean?
they are not. That's why las guns can still be very effective, right? They can still be very effective if you're not going up against people with shields.
what is the thing that Trey got? What was that?
An Ixian damper,
Yeah.
it like creates a quiet zone, I think is what the damper is.
Zone of cone
Yeah,
of quiet.
according
or
to
whatever.
the description, it creates a 10-meter area of. Basically, it prevents any communications from entering or leaving the zone. So it stops people from eavesdropping, but it can also stop people from calling for help, like sending out distress signals. So it's kind of a two-way thing. I figure with my character being kind of a bounty hunter, or not a bounty hunter, like a smuggler type of dude, negotiating deals and stuff, he probably employs an Ixian damper to make sure that people aren't eavesdropping and listening in on where he's doing pickups and shit like that. So
Nice.
Yeah. It doesn't, however, hide lips or anything.
oh no, you can still read lips and stuff.
Yeah,
You just can't
just-
like zoom in with like directional mics and shit like that.
Yeah, just letting you know.
Where's
doesn't have
where's
it.
the Oh, there it is.
So also, just as kind of a heads up, the way that this session will go, you guys will have plenty of time to collect or change assets. So I don't want you to feel like you'll be stuck with stuff. The way I'm going to treat the assets are, anytime you are in a zone where it's like your house kind of owns it. So like if you're like in your capital city or on your home world, or you're in one of your like transport ships or something like that, you can exchange the assets you have, but you cannot add additional assets because very specifically you have to spend advancement points to add assets or add quality to assets. So I'll let you exchange assets. So like, for example, if you're like, oh, we're about to go into a conflict and you want to trade out for a weapon as opposed to something else, you can trade your assets, but you can't upgrade them or add to the total number of assets you're carrying at any one time.
Gotcha.
Would
And
like
then-
a yacht spacecraft be too big of an asset?
You can have it as an asset. You have to think about the times you can use a yacht spacecraft, but you're more than welcome to have one.
Are we are like warfare assets, like soldiers and shit like that? Is that open, or are we just doing like personal equipment?
So yes, warfare assets are open. Again, they're very specific in nature. So that may be something where, depending on what like missions you're being sent on, you may want to like exchange out. So that's why I was saying it's kind of like assets are going to be assets. You may want to change your assets based on like what type of mission you're going into. But yeah, I'm open for really any type of assets. I don't think at this right now in the immediate activities, and we'll get into where you guys left off, warfare assets may not be beneficial, right? So it's up to you if you want to try and prepare for the first scenes you'll be seeing or not. But yeah, so really I'm leaving it open to any type of assets you want. And
Where's the asset list in the book?
it is
I'm looking
under-
around like 190 to 200.
Yeah, I think
starts
it's
around, like,
chapter
190 or 192.
chapter 7, so 190 on the actual page, or if you're looking at the document, it's 201 in the document. Is where it starts talking about it.
Yeah, it takes up a whole bunch of pages too. There's a whole bunch. I'm looking, 194 is what I'm looking at where it starts in the book for personal assets.
There we go. Warfare assets. I just saw a page that said warfare assets, so I'm slowing the scroll down.
Slow your scroll.
Could I have a missile launcher? No. I just
Like I said, it's going to be, like I said, you guys can take what you want. I'm going to play it however you guys want to play it. If you want to be more like fucking combat focused, then go for it. So, a quick setting of the scene, since we did kind of do a playing session 0. The crew was sent along with cousin Terrence, Persephone, to a nearby moon they were sent there to track down Terrence, who was sent to a nearby moon to negotiate a new trade agreement with one of the groups of locals, whereupon they were ambushed, and after successfully landing the ornithopter that you guys were, or the entry vehicle you guys were in, and then making your way to the capital of the moon, you guys found Terrence still alive but unconscious in the negotiating room, along with longtime nemesis Charleston the Count from your rival house, the House Corinthia. There you guys took Charleston captive and brought him back to your home world of Elysium, in which there was a celebration celebrating the joyous return of cousin Terrence, to safety, in which everybody mingled a little bit with the other members of the house. At which time a spacecraft was seen colliding with the city's shield and falling in the nearby forests, crash landing in a big plume of fire and smoke. And the team was asked to run out and investigate the scene. And after arriving, you found the damaged transport vehicle, and it was with only the name Shadowcaster written across it. And that is where we left off. So I think everybody was arriving there roughly at the same time. You guys find a scene in which the house guards have secured the area and have set up a perimeter around the crashed ship, not knowing if they need to anticipate some sort of attack or something else. And as you guys come upon the scene, it looks to be like the ship is no longer operable, and while you guys have seen some types of Ixian technology, this ship does not appear to be that. So I will open it up there for what you guys want to do as far as the crash site.
I mean, we dropped. Well, I guess I should ask. Okay, so we dropped, and like we weren't seen by anybody, right? So they don't know we're alive or that we're around.
Well, no, I mean this is like your.
Oh,
this
we're
is like
landing
your
now.
city. So
Right,
you
right.
guys just kind of like rode up, yeah, and you don't care if people see you. I assume you didn't care if people see you because you've already got your guard out there and you have the
Okay.
area secure. So
Okay.
yeah, and there's no other ships that you can see or anything. There's just the one ship that's already crashed. So there's no like currently other than what's in front of you. There's no like threat that you
Okay.
have determined.
So who's the highest ranking soldier there?
That would be one guy.
Hey, guy.
Guy, do you want to give everybody a brief description of yourself? They would all know you. So if you
Yeah,
want to give a description of
you
what
would
they know.
you would recognize Guy as one the body of a Juan Pablo Persephone, but with his metal Gola eyes, you know he's been around a little bit now since Juan Pablo's death. He's been brought back and working for the family, but the Duchess does not care for him, so she wouldn't let him keep the family name. But Pablo insists on him being a part of things. So yeah, he's like a glorified advisor that the Duchess would never ever listen to, and you kind of recognize him as a little bit of a spoiled rich guy. But he's effectively a lieutenant.
So, all right.
For the family.
And so you can see as he is kind of seems to know what he's doing though. Like he's not incompetent, so he's kind of giving orders to secure the area as you guys come around. And
I was imprinted with like the necessary training for like battle tactics and things, you know, that Pablo wanted me to have for this new role. I just, you know.
Okay. Guy, can you give us a situation report? Have your men gone inside this ship? Do we know what we're facing?
And this is where I'll need to catch up.
so effectively this transport ship, it's not a large one when you think of galactic ships, but it's like it could transport like 10 to 15 people probably. It's smaller as far as ships go. and it has crash landed inside of your home territory, effectively. And we can say that you arrived a few minutes ahead of time. Once the ship was seen crashing, you were immediately dispatched. So we'll say you've secured the area around the ship, but you have not sent anyone into the vessel yet. There are large pieces of the ship which are missing, which are now creating like just open entryways into the ship, so it's easily accessible.
So the body of Juan Pablo turns to look at you, Jace, and he turns and looks at you with those empty metal eyes and says, "Ah, Jace, the area is secure. I have not sent anyone inside yet. As you can see, there's some openings already blasted for us, but the area around is secure."
All right. And you got here.
Moments
here quickly?
ago.
Okay. I assume your men didn't see any kind of trails or disturbances, other than the big streak of,
No
didn't see
obvious people
no obvious
leaving
signs
the
that anyone
ship.
left. Okay.
You may be able to take a closer look for tracks, but we did not see one actively leaving.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say as far as like getting any type of information from the surrounding area, you haven't, like, your members haven't come back yet. So you haven't. You've secured the area, no threats, but you haven't had like a full like site report back yet. So, are you guys going to choose to go into the ship, or do you want to send like soldiers in to investigate and secure the ship? I leave that up to you guys.
Is the ship currently on fire?
The ship is partially on fire. It doesn't look like it's like detrimental at this point, as the ship's own fire suppressant systems, as well as like the emergency response teams, have been able to control most of the flames.
What about our current? So the son, where is he, and where is our prisoner?
So they were both in the capital. They're the ones who sent you out. So they're still in your, effectively in your
Ship.
home, your home capital. So
We
whether
didn't.
that's
We
like
didn't
a-
take our prisoner with us.
Oh! I thought we were coming. So I misunderstood. I thought we were coming back, and this is what we saw when we were coming back. My bad.
No.
So
you
we've
guys,
already done everything, and now okay.
Yeah, you guys landed and you went to kind of like a party, if you remember correctly, where
That's
they were
right.
like celebrating the return. Like,
That's
your guys'
right. Aaron was
successful
talking
return to
about
town.
how many microchips he put in people's brains.
So,
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
My bad.
So and then
I mean-
you guys were dispatched by
That's right.
Maria once the crash had started.
So Jack will basically be like, I mean, sounds like it's a good time to go in. I don't know what you guys want to do, but we can see what's going on.
Janude's going to use his danger sense. I have a focus in my skill discipline, focus of danger sense. How would I apply that here?
Yeah, so if you're wanting to check the situation for, I would say, like immediate threats. So for like, if there's anybody like trying to surprise attack or traps, or like, I would even say that could extend to if the ship is about to fall down, like if you're in immediate danger from the ship, collapsing. If you're wanting to do like a roll to understand those types of things, like an understand roll to try and determine those types of things, that's when danger sense would apply.
Okay. I want to do that.
Okay. So are you looking for all those things, I assume?
I want to do a hazard assessment of the immediate environment to, like you said, make sure nothing's going to like fall on anybody, or there's like a ruptured fuel line that's about to cause the thing to explode or something, like anything obvious.
I'll say it's a difficulty 1.
Okay. So my discipline is 6. I'm going to use drive truth, so that'd be a 5.
Do you want to try this?
Got a bad aftertaste.
So you'll roll 2 die, 2d20. You have to roll an 11 or under, and if you roll a 6 or under, because you're using danger sense, it is a critical success, and you get 2 successes.
Okay, so I'm rolling 2 die. We don't have any momentum or anything, do we?
You do not have any momentum
Okay.
yet, so this is a difficulty 1, so you can possibly start banking momentum if you
Okay.
succeed.
Alright, so I've got Discipline 6, Truth 5. I've checked Focus for Danger Sense. Rolling. 2 successes.
All right, so you guys get 1 momentum, and so everybody see the pools window
Yeah.
for momentum and threat? Okay.
Yeah.
So I added the 1 for you. In the future, I will say just party track your own momentum, as that'll help me out. So if you add to or subtract momentum, just do it yourself.
So the add button's grayed out. I can't add momentum. I
Oh,
can
you
only
can't?
subtract it.
Oh, same.
Dang. Okay, I'll see if I can update that setting later then. So I'll track it for now then. So, all right, so you gained
We can
1.
add threat, but we can't add momentum.
Okay. Oh, maybe, but you can subtract momentum.
Correct.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, so if you use momentum, just subtract it. I guess I'll go through and add it. So with 2 successes, you succeed and you gained 1 momentum. Currently, it looks like the fire suppressant systems have done a pretty good job of keeping any of the risks out of the bulk of the ship. So there's definitely a possibility. It's a small possibility, but there's a possibility of like back near the propulsion system, possibly continuing to catch flame, but not in an explosive sense, in like a would catch fire and start to spread sense. So you would have time to get out if that was an issue. So relatively, there's little danger of like fire continuing or explosion. You don't see any of the like fuel leaking or anything like that. There are some electrical lines that are down, but nothing that looks too dangerous.
Well, I'll point out all those ancillary threats that you mentioned, like the electrical lines and stuff, and just tell the approaching troops or whatever house guard to be online and be aware of those.
So then, Jack, you are going in.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap on my shield and I'm gonna go in.
All right. Let's see. I would say give me a. Well, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and ask for this. I'm gonna say give me a move roll. It's gonna be a difficulty 0.
Okay.
It's mostly to see how easily you can move inside in like a momentum building type of roll. So
Okay.
even if you don't get any successes, you can still pass. However, if you roll a 20, you will add a complication to the scene.
Okay. I have. You're gonna have to remind me how to do all the calculations. I have an 8 in move. So skill plus drive. So I'm guessing that's 8, and then I can tell you what drive I'm using, or no?
So yeah, you tell me what drive you want to use, and I'll confirm it. And then if you open up the Dune dice roller, you'll put that total into the target. Okay.
So I'm gonna obviously I'm doing a move. I'm gonna use power because I'm going to rush in there and see if there's anybody I can help, or if this is something nefarious. But I would assume that would be a power.
Okay.
Strength.
So you have a statement on your power.
Mm-hmm.
Those who have true power seldom wield it.
Mm-hmm.
How is that applicable to this particular
So
action, I guess?
in this situation, it's an urgent situation that's just happening. So normally I wouldn't just be busting into a ship, but because this one's on fire and fellow friends and or something nefarious could be happening, this is one of those rare moments where it's time to shine. Jack O'Neill to the rescue.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and give me that roll then,
Cool. So I got a 16.
and you'll roll 2d20.
Okay. No determination. And complication, so that doesn't matter. I don't actually have to set that. It defaults to 20, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So I just roll. Okay. 2.
All right. So you're able to quickly move in to the ship and start kind of using your shield and your blades to move the damaged like sheeting and metal that's out of the way. As you start to move through, you come across two what looks to be probably like deckhands or like maintenance individuals. They don't look like soldiers or anything, but they're both dead and like to severe contusions basically. So weren't wearing a seatbelt effectively. You can surmise as they crashed. As you make your way through the ship, as you continue through, you come up to the like flight deck where the captain's seats and everything are, and you see one large, what looks to be like almost like one large aquarium style tube, and floating inside looks to be some sort of like humanoid-esque person, but they don't look to be, to you, they don't look to be entirely human. It almost as if they've had like facial reconstruction surgery or, you know, something else. So you can't, they don't look like a normal person to you. Is the rest of the group following Jack in and through, or are you
Yes.
guys hanging back?
I would be following him.
Yeah, Janud will follow him as well.
Okay. Guy, are you following the other advisors into the ship, or are you maintaining like the scene outside?
I leave orders to finish securing the outside and then follow out of
You also-
curiosity.
Okay.
Did Jack recognize the clothing of the two dead individuals? Like, is it from our house, or does it look foreign to me?
I'll say with your, as you're moving through the ship, you know, I didn't think you'd probably be stopping to look. I figured you'd be moving through the ship, but with a brief glance, they don't appear to be wearing any type of insignia. So,
Okay.
you know, definitely nothing that signals they're from your house, but nothing that really signals they're from any house.
Okay.
So as you get into the flight deck as well, Janud, you can immediately recognize, due to your faction trait, that
It's the Spacing
the individual in this is some degree of a
Like a navigator.
guild navigator. And so, like, he has already begin. So he's not a full navigator yet. He hasn't undergone the full spice change, but he's clearly been navigating long enough that he has begun the change. And so while you haven't seen very many navigators in your time, because they're very, very well kept, nobody else has seen one. And so you would be the only person who would even kind of understand what's occurring here. And then I guess I'll pause there. So you guys want to continue moving through the rest of the ship, or is there?
Well, what with my relationship with the guild, would the, I guess, the presence and knowledge of navigators be something that they try to keep under wraps, or I guess I'm trying to determine based on guild lore, would I want to tell the rest of the group, hey, this is a guild navigator, we need to do everything we can to save this thing, or
So I'll leave that up to you to be torn. The guild would want the if the navigator can be saved, the guild would obviously want the navigator saved,
yeah,
because the spice investment alone is incredible. But the guild is also very hesitant to release to like for this secret to get out there, right? Like I said, it's very rare that one is seen having gone through even partial change. It's very rare that one is seen in public. So it's kind of a torn, right? Like, there's not really a wrong answer here. The guild would probably see it either way, but I leave that up to you. Definitely not
Isn't-
like continuing to spread it though. Like, if you went around
Yeah.
like spreading it, that might be a negative.
remind me, isn't Aaron's character a doctor of some kind?
He is a soup doctor. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I don't think my character would know a whole lot about navigator physiology. I'm going to use an asset to say that Aaron's character is in this ship with us right now, seeing as Aaron is
Okay.
not here with us spiritually. And
Sure.
I'm going to approach him quietly and cautiously and ask him if he has any idea of navigator physiology and would know how to diagnose any possible injuries to this creature in the tank.
Uh, yeah. Uh, Big McLarshush um, walks up to the tank and kind of starts investigating. And he looks around, um, and he says, "Well, I'm not sure about specific physiology. It looks mostly human, so I should be able to treat who or what it is if they're still alive. But I'll need to get them out of this system first." And he starts kind of looking around to see if there's like a like controls for the navigator tube that's in there.
Would
And
would Janud have? Would I know if taking this potential navigator out of the tube, is this going to ruin the spice investment and stuff, or is this going to have some negative impact on his development as a potential navigator?
so, based on where he's at now, probably won't be detrimental for him. He's probably still able to like come and go from the navigation systems.
Okay.
However, the tube does still appear to be filled with the spice liquid concoction that is used to like infuse the navigators when they're like doing a navigation. So there's also a significant amount of value of spice in the tube currently in like a aerosol form.
Okay.
Is it leaking?
It
Yeah.
is not leaking. These things are very secure.
Okay.
So, sorry, liquid, not aerosol. It's in like a liquid form.
Okay. I guess I being a smuggler, would you say that I've transported spice before? I'm gonna assume I've transported spice before, and I have some means of containing this liquid form of spice on my ship.
So yeah, you could it would take you a little bit of time, but you could rig up like a tank to be able to drain the fluid out first before releasing him. Being a guild navigator, you would be pretty familiar with the systems involved.
Okay.
So I would say one of the things that you've learned in your schooling is like maintenance of these things. So these types of systems. So you could do that. It would take you a little bit of time. So it just comes down to whether or not you want to spend the time to do that or not.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell McLarjuge to gain as much information on the subject's, I guess, health status as he can, while I take the necessary precautions to preserve the spice bath that he's currently in, because
Okay.
well, there's potentially a large dollar value here that may or may not make it off this ship, if you know what I mean. So we'll come back to that later.
Okay, so you start doing that, and McLarshuge starts to try and find the life systems in what remains of the ship to see if he can get the life readings from the tube itself.
And is there any identifying markings on this navigator? Like, is there a nameplate or anything on his tank, or
There is
he
not.
doesn't have a fucking name tag on his shirt or anything?
There is not, and he is not even wearing like standard guild attire.
Okay, so this is a highly unusual situation.
Yes.
Okay.
It would, for you, it would be a highly unusual situation. Rest of the team, I get. What are you guys doing while they're starting to try and to do these actions, to do the actions with the guild navigator?
I'll step away real quick. I'm gonna grab a beer. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So is
Yeah.
this like a really big? Like, how big was the ship? Like, are there going to be a lot of other compartments? Is this
So,
the main one?
Yeah,
Where
so
we
this
at?
would be like the main like flight and captain's area. So there's definitely on a ship like this, there's going to be like a storage bay, as well as there will be some rooms, since it's a transport ship, that you guys still would need to investigate.
I was gonna say Jack's gonna see what they're doing and basically make sure that the area that they're in is secure, and then continue throughout the rest of the ship to secure it, and then also see if the fire suppressant system's working correctly, and try to basically make the situation a sustainable one that's not going to get any worse.
Sure. Okay.
I will go to the captain's quarters and look for any kind of journal or log or something I can read to get an understanding of what the hell's going on.
Okay. And
Guy ponders out loud. I wonder what they were transporting.
Why don't you go check the storage
And
hole?
as he's walking towards the storage hole.
okay, so I love it. Split group. Let's go one by one.
Hey, we have soldiers outside. I feel okay.
I'm not worried about. Yeah, no, you're not threat. I'm just saying, one by one assessment here. All right.
Oh, I'm a threat.
Yeah, you have 4th threat already.
That's right. All right. So, Mr. Jack, as you peruse through the ship, you're able to secure it. It looks like the suppressant systems are still holding, so there's no risk of like further complication or damage to the ship at this moment. You end up making your way through the living quarters first, or like where the rooms would effectively be for people staying here or on the ship, and you end up finding that only a handful of them look as though they've been used, and so it looks to be like there were five used rooms. You find another dead individual in another one of the rooms, and that's about how far you make it while you're going through your assessment, because there's about, like I said, there's about probably about a dozen rooms or so that you kind of make your way through, and then as you make your way down toward the back of the ship where the like dry propulsion system would be to check on like the fire hazards and the risks of those types of things to make sure that the ship's in stable condition, you find the propulsion systems, and you do notice that as far as like a transport ship, this is not a standard transport ship that you're used to propulsion system. Like most of the ones that you deal with that are for like local travel or even like in inner solar system travel don't have this type of heavy drive system. Like it's a much more complicated system than you're used to, and you've not seen one before, and you're not sure of what type of technology it's currently using.
Does it look like it's on fire, or like
it looks heavily damaged, but it looks like they've, like I said, the fire suppressant systems and everything has been able to contain most of the damage. So
it's not like the core's melting or something like that at this point.
no, it definitely has sustained fire damage, but it doesn't look like it's currently on fire.
Does it look like it was shot? Like it was attacked? Would I be able to tell?
It does not look like it was shot or attacked.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, not that you can tell anyway. Like you don't see.
Sure. As I searched the rooms, I didn't see any type of like signs of struggles or violence or anything like that, where like that would have, like there was any type of mutiny or any type of sign of any type of I don't know, violence that happened in the ship.
Nope, not at this time. You didn't see anything. So
Okay.
yeah, I would say you didn't find anything like that. Weapon, like obvious weapons or like
Blood
signs of fighting, blood. Yeah, I mean outside of like clearly like what would have been, like I said, like crash damage type
Right.
of thing. Yeah.
And you said, well, I mean, you said the first two people died because of obvious like contusions and stuff. Like they were beat up pretty bad from getting wrecked without a seatbelt. What about the third person?
Same.
Did it same? Okay.
Yeah, it looked like he had just like, bounced around in his
Sure.
room some. So Mr. Jace,
Yes, sir.
so you kind of follow Jack through, and you're able to find the captain's quarters
Okay.
just off the way from where he was.
Perfect.
And so you are looking. Remind me what exactly you're looking. You're looking for like a log or
I'm
something.
looking for like captain's journal, captain's log, any kind of paperwork that I can assimilate, to read, and kind of like store, so I can figure out what this ship was doing here, why it crashed.
Sure.
I'm
I would
basically trying to understand what the situation is.
Right. All right. So I would say, find me, you're able to find, like what is effectively like a crystal recording book, and so
Okay.
it's like a book, but its pages are so thin that you don't flip the pages yourself. It almost has it has like a mechanical system in the spine to flip the pages for you, so it can store like incredible amounts of pages effectively.
Okay.
And it looks to be like it has kind of a log of of not necessarily like a journal, but like almost like a log of events and places and things like that. However, about every like third or fourth page, it's not exact, like there's not an exact rhythm, but it's pretty regularly throughout the book. There appears to be like pages that are or entries that are kind of coded, like they don't make sense based on the system of documentation that they're using for the other trips.
Okay.
So your keen mind is able to immediately notice like they're not using the same like location timestamps, cargo load orders. They start kind of just mentioning random things.
So so my immediate suspicion is this is either black market or smuggling.
Yeah, being in that industry, you kind of immediately thoughts are to clearly they're trying to hide certain trips.
Okay.
And I will say that there is a ownership effectively title of the book, like almost like a return to type of person ownership
Yeah.
tag for the name Azarz, Azarz,
Azar's?
Azarz.
Do I know this name at all? I'm guessing.
It does not ring a bell to you immediately, no.
Okay. And it would. So.
Right.
All right.
Real quick, is there a way to keep notes in here or records?
I think you can make journal entries as a player.
Yeah.
Can you create, if you go to the little open book tab?
Yeah, like I can search and I see player house creation, but I don't see
you-
anywhere to actually create an entry.
You don't have a create entry button at the top?
You have to go into game settings and allow players to make journal entries.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can do this. System settings, maybe? Nope.
No, go into go to the cogwheels.
Yep.
Go
I'm there.
to configure settings.
Yep, I'm there.
Go to system settings,
Okay.
and it should be in there.
I don't see, there's nothing in system settings. There's core settings and there's module settings. There's items. Let's see. Oh,
That's one way to do it.
yeah, I think I just kicked everybody out. I'm sorry.
You did.
All right, it's back up.
Yeah, this is different than
It's a different core module. Let's see here. Maybe I can create one and then just give you permission.
that should work too.
Here we go. Go to the journal entries now
Okay, I got it pulled up.
and see if you can see. I put one that's like Jen's notes,
Yeah.
and I made you owner, so you should be able to edit.
All right,
Alright.
yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Anybody else wants one? Just let me know.
Yeah, I'll take one.
All right.
A watch?
A watch. What are you talking
What'd you
about?
say? Sorry. My wife was
I
saying
said
something.
if you want a journal entry for to take notes.
No, I've been doing mine on Google Docs.
So the document that Jace found, that indicates that Azars is the owner of the ship or just the owner of the document?
Of that document.
Okay.
So, yep. All right. So then, Mr. Guy, as you make your way down into the storage room, you find a couple of interesting things down there. One, you find what looks to be another dead body, another person in a maintenance type of outfit. But this individual seems to have, while it does look like he has been beat up quite a bit, the same as the others, suffered a lot of like blunt trauma. You notice he also seems to have what looks to be like weird scarring on his hands, like almost like burns. But there doesn't appear to be any type of fire damage in the storage area that you're in. So then also you find what looks to be a pretty badly beat up and broken, almost type of like cryo chamber. It's effectively it's type of chamber technology. Give me a understand.
Okay.
Oh yeah, dump stats. Give me an understand check with a difficulty of 1.
Okay. I still have to pick a drive, right?
But you pick the drive, whatever you think of, and it's to try and understand what type of system this is.
I mean, I think truth makes sense. I don't know. It doesn't have to align with my statement.
So if you're using one with a statement, it normally
It
does
has to
have to
align with a
align.
statement.
I will also note, however, there is an individual in the unit. So I would say that it could apply since you're trying to understand the unit and possibly the person inside. It's up to you. You could apply that if you want. I don't know if that would... you're not trying to interpret... They're not moving. They're in a suspense state, right? So you're not trying to interpret them like from a... like an interpretation role, so I don't know if that really goes with your statement or not, but yeah, just giving you all the facts.
I'd say general kind of like understanding kind of fits with that my truth statement.
Okay.
All right.
So then you'll roll 2d20, and there's the Dune dice roller on the left. I don't know if you've used it yet or not.
I remember last time, so I'm not
Okay.
using a focus. So I got a 12 in my combined 0.
Okay, so
It was 19. It was close to 20.
the system seems, it doesn't seem completely unfamiliar, but you're not sure, like exactly what it's for, or what it's doing.
It's not my jam.
But yeah, but there is like I said, you do find that there is a person in there, and they appear to be in like a comatose state. That being said, though, the chamber itself does look to be damaged enough to where it is like cracked open, and the glass around it has started to freeze on the outside, and there appears to be some like leaking elements to the system.
I'm gonna start looking for identifiers, like if there's any markings to identify who this is, or if I recognize the person.
You do not, and there are not.
Okay. Outside of this, are there any other like anything being, carried in this chamber?
There is not. There's a few like crates and things with like maintenance systems and stuff like that, or like things that are like for the ship. But outside of there is one container. There's one other unmarked container that looks to be like a jug of something, like a smaller jug that is kind of amongst the wreckage. But other than that, it all looks to be like standard repair tools, non-storage items, like non-transport items, but things that would be related to the ship. So tools, things like that.
Yeah, I'll just make my way back to where everybody else is. So there's The damaged cryogenic unit in the back is leaking. The person might be alive.
So we got possibly 2 survivors.
You're
You're
muted,
on.
Trey.
It's possibly 2 survivors.
If
Yeah, I
this,
mean,
if this fellow is alive, I've never seen anyone in quite this state before.
Where did Jace find that document at? That like reference smuggling? Oh, you're
on
muted,
mute.
Jim.
Captain's quarters.
Okay, so that's not the place we found the navigator, right?
No, you found him like actually in the like flight deck, so he was like in the process of navigating.
Okay. I guess I'm being an experienced smuggler. Would I know what type of ship this is, or would I be familiar with its model at all?
So you know a decent amount about ships. You don't recognize this one, and
Okay.
from best you can tell, and just so everybody's aware, I will say that you guys have explored the entirety of the ship at this point. So, other individuals can kind of go to other locations, but
No survivors?
you've explored the ship.
Except for the navigator guy.
There's no other survivors except for you have 2 possibles, the navigator and the woman in the cryo chamber. So your knowledge of ships is pretty extensive, but you don't recognize this one. And the strange part about this one is this is a fairly small ship for having a Holtzman engine, which is effectively needed to fold space. So
This is like a personal highliner.
basically, it's almost like, and you've heard of them before, like they exist, but they're not commonly used.
Okay, I want to make a. I don't know. I guess tell me if I need to make a roll or not. I want to use my experience as a smuggler to walk the ship and identify places that I would use to smuggle contraband and things that I didn't want nosy neighbors to be able to find. Like if I wanted to hide something on the ship, where would I hide it at?
Sure. Okay. Roll me a discipline roll.
Okay, so I'm going to
We'll say
use
that you're using your
discipline. I'll use
discipline.
smuggling as my focus.
Okay.
And then
And we'll say difficulty of 2 with a complication of 18 or 19 and 20.
okay.
Should be a good time to use momentum, I think.
You can use momentum if you'd like to buy additional dice. You can
My,
buy.
I'm looking at using power as my drive. I have 8 in power. It's my highest drive, and my drive statement is great power must be kept in check by any means necessary. I'm going to assume that whoever was piloting this ship must have some form of power, seeing as these ships are exceedingly rare. Would that be an acceptable drive, or do you want me to pick something else?
Rare means expensive. Expensive means power. So I think that's a fair jump. Yeah.
Okay. Discipline, power, focus. All right, refresh me again on the momentum.
Yeah. So, using momentum, you can buy additional dice. So, 1 momentum will buy you 1 dice. It takes 2 momentum to buy the second dice, so a total of 3 momentum to buy 2 additional dice.
Okay.
And then 6 momentum to buy 3 additional dice. So each dice goes up by 1 momentum each time you go. You can create a trait for the scene for 2 points, or you can just obtain generic information for 1 point, which is basically asking GM questions. I will say you can't ask me, is there a hidden smuggling compartment? You will
How
get
about
nothing
if
out
I
of me.
create a hidden smuggling compartment and you can put me something interesting in it?
I would say you could create that as a trait if you want to spend 2 momentum.
Okay, I'll do that.
So as you start to walk around the ship, like I said, you're kind of unfamiliar with this style of ship, so the immediate best hiding places don't come to mind. But you start to walk around, and you notice that one of the crew member rooms seems to be a little different than the others. You know, kind of doing that little back and forth check. And it does look like there's effectively like a hidden wall compartment in one where the desk is kind of cut at a weird shape where you wouldn't initially notice it, to hide a little bit of a bulge type of thing. And you know, you're able to find the smuggling compartment. And inside are two things. One is what looks to be a couple smaller packets of compact spice melange, and the other one would be the like a entry, like a book entry, like I described earlier, almost like a crystal book, paged book type of thing, that has different coordinates on it, and it also includes like a pairing of what seems to be like unidentifiable specific words. So it's just like word.
All right, so when I
So
see
almost
the
like-
the weird word salad, I'm gonna call over Jace and ask him to put together some kind of what do you thinking computers call these?
Ciphers?
Yeah, See what you can dig up on this. This looks a little more advanced than I'm capable of.
All right, so can I kind of, flip through this book to get the information and then do like an understand roll to see if I can piece all the information together?
Sure. So I would say you could do I would say you could do an understand roll. It's not an extensive amount of information, so yeah, that should be fine. You can go ahead and do an understand roll for that. I will say this one will be a difficulty 2.
So the pool size is 2?
Well, you need 2 successes. So your default pool size is always 2.
Okay. And then can I use my, since we have suspicions that this is smuggling and black market politics stuff, can I use my focus as well to see if I can kind of piece together like dates and see if things are like, if this ship was in areas where things happened that I know about, to kind of like piece together like what it is and what it does? Or
I would say yeah, you can use that. I can make that work.
okay, so
Got momentum if you want to buy another die.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
you can
suggest
buy
that
another
too.
die, yeah.
okay, I will go ahead and use a die. So use a pool of 3, and the complication range is 20, right?
Just 20. Yep.
It said invalid data.
What did you do wrong?
I don't know. I clicked on understand for the skill. Oh, I need to pick my drive.
Yeah.
So I would use duty on this because this serves the house. Finding
Okay.
out why this ship has like crash landed.
Sure.
Would there be any way I could assist him?
So you can assist if you would like. How the assist work is you roll 1d20, and you would roll the same he's rolling. So you'd roll like an understand duty. And if you succeed, you get 1 success, and if you fail, you don't. But you only get to
Okay.
roll 1d20.
Okay.
Duty, understand.
Bam.
3, hell yeah.
So you guys bank 1 momentum, and you succeed. So, what you can make from this, it is quite obviously some sort of location coordinates,
Okay.
and probably based on your kind of understanding of what is effectively the smuggling craft, we'll say, it's probably some sort of passcode to access something one given the coordinates. However, looking at it, it looks like the coordinates are planetary coordinates and not interstellar coordinates. So you would have to know a
So
planet
we have to know what planet it's on.
to apply them. Right, correct.
All right, so initially, as I'm looking at this, these are planetary coordinates. What I would think is, if we know what planet to go to, these coordinates will lead us to some kind of storage area or site that's connected with this ship, and it appears there's some passcodes here as well that will probably get us in.
Do we have any indication that Elysium was the destination of this ship, or did it inadvertently crash here?
I would say that is unclear. It obviously inadvertently crashed. Whether or not it inadvertently crashed at its target destination, you found nothing yet that would indicate one way or another.
Is there
I'm going to assume the coordinates are for here.
well, one set of coordinates may be for here.
Yeah.
There's multiple, correct? There's multiple sets of coordinates?
Yeah, it looks like it's just like almost like a list.
Okay. So in the captain's log, what's the closest like blank page, or like, you know, the ciphered page to the end, right? So the last one.
Yeah, so the very last entry is a ciphered entry.
Okay. And I can't make anything out. Like, is there any kind of, like, if I look at this and I look at the list, is there any kind of thing that might clue me into what it means, or how to break their code?
I would say that, you know, you go and you start applying like the passcode, like the last passcode applied to the cipher, try and see if you can do some like basic, like decryption techniques and things like that, and nothing simple that you would be running, you know, in a matter of minutes deciphers the current code. Okay. So it's definitely, it doesn't, to your best knowledge, probably the two books do not apply to each other, and you're currently unsure as to what the actual decryption method for the cipher would be. So it's something you could probably work on, right? I mean, as a Mintat, you can continue to process on the cipher, but just in your preliminary kind of attempts, you've not been able to crack it.
Okay. Yeah, like I would definitely want to just put some runtime towards cracking this.
Processing power, guys.
Jace being House Mentat, would Jace know, I guess with enough detail, what specific, like if he were to cross-reference the coordinates that we found in that smuggler's cache with those coordinates on Elysium, the planet we're on now, would he be able to tell me what, like, if any landmarks or anything are at those locations on our planet?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I would say he has a pretty good knowledge of the planet, so based on the coordinates that you...
I mean, well, can't I just bring up, like, a map in my head of the...
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Can you just search your database and run that
I would have that somewhere. I would assume it's Elysium. It's our planet.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you'd probably have that information stored away. Okay. So as you start running it through, a large portion of the planet is covered by water, and so the majority of them, like a statistical expectation of number, is placed in the water.
Right.
The other ones are placed in different locations. Nothing that seems to be um, like statistically unlikely. You know, it seems to be based on your assumption of what you would expect to see, assuming that the coordinates would apply to your planet. You don't see that, and based on a statistical assumption of what they would look like if they applied to another planet and they were randomly applied to yours, it's pretty clear that they're not applicable to your planet.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Trying to best describe it like a computer would think.
Right, but there are so how many of these locations like line up on landmass somewhere?
Roughly about half. But they don't. But when they line up on landmass, that they still don't line up specifically with specific places. Like there are a couple that would line up with like different cities, different smaller cities on the planet, but they don't line up anywhere specific to anything you have. There is one that lines up with your territory, like the mountain territory, but it doesn't line up with like your home city specifically or any specific location you have. It's just kind of like a random point out in the mountains.
So it doesn't
Right,
look like there's
but-
any correlation or anything.
Or is there a latitude and a longitude that is like obviously of a larger planet than this? Like
No.
the numbers are too high for
Well,
this planet.
No, it works for your planet. So it clearly they have dissected the planets in similar
That's not how
quantities.
latitude works.
Say what?
I'm trying to think of how they would do that.
That's not how longitude and latitude works. It's all broken up into 300. It's like 360 because it's like spherical.
Right. So I'm saying. So it would be they use the same system. I'm saying as you guys would use. Right. So a similar coordinating system.
Okay.
But so it would appear to work. But so if it was on a bigger planet, those coordinates might be farther apart than they
There's
would be on your
theoretically
planet.
there'd be a finer breakdown if it was on a larger planet. So I guess we go to like
Could
a
be.
larger decimal point or something like that.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, or they could just be using less exact numbers. I mean,
It's also
But-
true.
But if we're going with
it
the
looks
theory-
similar. It looks about similar in size, though, as best you could judge.
Right. If we're going with the theory that these are places that may be used for smuggling, I mean, they wouldn't necessarily line up with a city. They would be out in the, you
Okay.
know, like
You can send somebody to check on them if you'd like. You have the coordinates.
right. You said
Me
about-
being a smuggler, how often do I land in a city versus outside a city?
I mean, I guess that would depend, but if you're trying to, if you're
I mean, a
dealing
good
with people who are
smuggler
in the
doesn't have
city-
to land outside of town where people wonder why the fuck he didn't go to the spaceport.
There's benefits to landing outside of a city, right? There's less eyes, but also if someone sees you landing outside of a city, it seems stranger than if you're landing inside a city
Yeah.
and dropping off cargo, right? Also, you have to have people there to accept. You have to have machines or systems to receive the cargo. You have to have another ship there to receive the cargo.
Not to get, I guess,
So-
I don't want to derail. I think we've got enough information now that we
Yeah.
don't think these coordinates apply to our planet, so we need to be looking off-world. We're looking for a planet that is similar in size to our planet. Is there any way we can tell
Well, wait, you
where
said
this
that
thing folded space last?
there's a lady on board, right?
Yeah.
There is. Yep.
There's somebody
Cryo.
who might still be alive in cryo. It's currently leaking.
Oh, well, let's go wake her the fuck up.
All right. So
You're just saying
you're-
that the ship's stable, right?
as-
We confirmed that.
I mean,
As-
are we about to lake up like River Tam? Is that what's going on here? Like,
Fuck yeah!
so as you guys are heading down there,
TPK.
the Big McLarge after you were able to get the navigator out, Big McLarge joins you guys to confirm that the navigator died, but he appears to have died from some sort of chemical poisoning. but he does not quite yet know what poison was used. So I would highly advise you filter the liquid substance you pulled from the tank.
Maybe.
Get the fentanyl out of it.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys make your way down into the storage facility of the ship, yeah. So you guys can see that there's the woman there that is in the cryo tank, appears to be frozen, and Big McLarshuge approaches the tank and begins to look over and do an assessment, and he notes that it appears to be some sort of unfamiliar type of technology. I think it might be Talaxu, but I can't guarantee it. However, it is damaged, and so we probably would want to get this woman back to our facilities so that we can bring her back from her frozen state in a medically safe environment.
Guy, can you assign some of your men to take care of that, please?
Guy's kind of like already leaned away. On my way.
All right, so we'll say that you guys will send her back toward the city, and you guys can rendezvous with them back there. And unless there's anything else you wanted to use Big McLarshuge for, as you bought him as an asset, he will return with the cryogenic system.
Okay, yeah, I'll have him, I guess, accompany the female to make sure she makes it to the medical staff.
All right.
So I'm still unclear. How do we think that the ship crashed?
So, I mean, I don't want to completely metagame here, but if the navigator died during navigation, then he may not have been able to safely navigate the ship all the way through the folding of space.
Yeah, but if they're like folding space, isn't he running into a planet at light speed or some shit?
You're constantly moving, so there's the possibility that he, knowing something was wrong, right, pulled out of the fold, or that he was not under the correct mental states, right? He could have folded to the wrong location. I mean, there are definitely possibilities there. Normally, what happens when, like, back before navigators existed, you would know as a Spacing Guild agent, was that effectively whenever people would try and fold space, like 20% of the ships would end up in random places out in the middle of nowhere in the universe, right? So it's definitely not unheard of that you can end up in the wrong spaces. However, navigators rarely have that issue, if ever. So navigators make the folding of space safe.
Okay.
But the engine itself still works even without the navigators. Can work without the navigators.
So,
But then you're just like, it's just like a random. It's like the Guide to the Galaxy random engine.
so we have a
infinite probability
private
drive?
Highliner with a. I'm going to say this is a Tlilaxu navigator. This is not a navigator that would have been sanctioned by the guild. Transporting someone or something, possibly both, who was poisoned in his spice bath, either died in transit or pulled out of the fold, and their ship crash landed here. Elysium was probably not their destination, so we need to try to find out where they were going and where they came from. I feel like the woman is probably very important to this situation. So we need to do everything we can to try to keep her alive, and then also get as much information out of her as we can. Seeing as she was in a cryo tube, she's probably not going to know where she's at or who she's with when she wakes up, so we could probably play that to our advantage.
But she may. Well, I assume she would know where she was supposed to be going.
Yes, I think we need to try to massage that information out of her without telling her where she is now.
Dealing with Telexu, she could be another Gola or a face dancer.
That is true. I guess. Matt? What is your character's name again?
Guy.
Guy. I guess Shanu's going to kind of confer with Guy and ask him what is your recommendation moving forward with dealing with Thylaxu, possibly a face dancer. I don't have a whole lot of experience with these types of individuals.
Well, generally they're mimicking someone, so if you can catch them in a lie or something of that sort, I didn't exactly have pleasant experiences with Thylaxu.
I guess how would we catch her in a lie, given her current situation?
It's saying it may be moot.
It's better than nothing.
So, unless there is objection, we'll say the scene at the Shadowcaster will conclude
Well,
as you guys head
can
back.
we have the
Many times the Thylaxu will infiltrate houses with face dancers. Sometimes when someone dies and they don't want ruckus, maybe a face dancer sits in their place for a while.
Would you be able to tell? I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with face dancers. Do they have an original form, or would you be able to tell if she's already mimicking someone else?
I don't know.
Okay.
Of course, the other thing you can do when someone dies is the other option.
Yeah.
Indeed. Can we have the Can the wreckage of the ship be transported?
Yes, I mean you can
All right, so
collect the pieces of the ship and take them back.
Yeah, I want to take that
Yeah.
fold space drive and put it in my
Yeah.
fucking orbital liner.
It'd be a sweet drive.
Doing your assessment on it, it'll definitely take some work to get this thing repaired, but it is not.
Oh, I don't need it repaired. I just want the drive put in my ship.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Oh.
to the drive as well. I mean, the drive also suffered heavy impacts, right? So getting the drive repaired, you'll have to repair it. It'll take some time, especially on something that is not as common, right? As a Holtzman drive. It's not like every mechanic on the street can fix a Holtzman drive, right? It takes some pretty specific knowledge. So it'll take some effort to get it repaired, but I'm saying it's not out of the question that this can be repaired. So,
Okay.
So the house guards start to begin to collect the ship, send out some crew. You guys are heavily skilled as a house at moving large amounts of cargo. So you have the equipment to kind of shuttle this thing back off to a secure location in your guys' house. So the team starts to work on that. And as you guys head back to the house, I will leave it up to you where you guys want to be. We can wait. You can be present for when the woman is awakened. I guess I'll
do we
open it
need
up.
to do we need to inform the guild, the Navigator Guild?
I'm gonna wait till we find out exactly what's going on here, because this may not have anything to do with the guild.
Okay.
Do things like transponders exist in this universe? Like, do we need to worry about someone like tracking this ship?
Yes, transponders are a thing.
I think if there is one, let it run. If someone comes looking for it, it just gives us more information.
Yeah.
It's not like they're rolling up on, peasants. I mean, we're a fucking house. We
I mean, it is hard for us to give somebody their ship back if their logs are in cryptic form.
Yeah,
Could you describe the ship you're missing? Is it an illegal vessel? So you guys are heading back to the house, like I said. So just as a reminder, the ruler Pablo also indicated that you guys will soon be traveling to Corin for a vote of the Landsraad, and you guys have been marked out as part of the advance team. So you'll be leaving in a few days to head to Corin to prepare for the nobility's arrival and make sure that everything is secure, and as well as there will be some preparation involved there. And then you also have the woman who you guys can visit either after or while she's being woken up. I guess 2 different scenes that allow you guys to pick from.
Well, I mean, as long as she wakes up before we leave, right?
Yeah. She'll wake up before you guys leave. She'll be Big McLarshu indicated that it would only take a couple of hours to awaken her.
Oh, well then, yeah. I'd like to be there.
Okay.
I guess
So,
how do we want to approach this? Are we looking to do this as like an interrogation? Which is more, I'm kind of leaning towards that, trying to squeeze as much information out of her as we can before we start answering her questions. Or are we just going to play it straight-faced and tell her what happened and go from there?
I think what we can do, what might work, is go with concerned. Inform her there was that the ship, that the Shadowcaster crashed, that her cryo was damaged, and we brought her out, and then ask her questions to make sure that the process worked, such as, what planet were you supposed to land on? What was your business here? Acting as if we know, and having her confirm it with us to make sure that
It's like a memory test.
that her memory and her mental capacity is intact.
Okay.
That way, we can interrogate her without interrogating her.
I guess with that in mind, whatever room we bring her to we need to make sure there's no identifying insignia or anything in that room, and that the staff and equipment don't have any kind of house sigil or anything on them either.
She's in the medical bay, right?
As far as I know.
I would assume that room. I mean, I don't know. I would assume that room is
Big,
like out of character. Like, I would assume that room is just the fucking medical room.
Big McLarshu starts to cover up his Premier League house Persephone jersey. There are no immediately identifying markings inside the medical clean rooms, so yeah, you guys would be okay there.
Okay.
So you would just have to be concerned about anything you are walking in with. So like for example, definitely guys' uniform, if you are in uniform, would have like house identification on it. I don't know about the rest of you. As counselors or advisors, there's a very good chance you would have some sort of identifying clothing or garb, which, you could choose to leave outside. But, or, especially colors, definitely. Like if you're wearing like advisor robes, Jace, those would be in the colors of the house. So.
Yeah, like we'll all change into like medical, I'm sure.
Throw on your scrubs.
Yeah, we can all look the part. I'll put on a lab coat. And...
We're gonna reenact Twilight Zone here.
I have an alternate idea for you. I'm gonna activate my dampening field. We need to dress up like we're from the far future. And we can tell her she's been asleep for 2,000 years, and we found her ship afloat, just drifting out on the shores of Orion.
Are you gonna
Pull
wear
the
a,
pull the fucking. We can pull a Faye Valentine or a fucking. No, we can do a fucking.
you
Shit.
dress like Paul Reiser?
Yeah. And do that.
We'll
we
do a
can
Rip
give her
Van
the.
Winkle.
We can give her the Ellen Ripley treatment. Yeah, it's 75 years later. All your kids are dead. It's just an option.
We got to start coming up with names for these. Like, we'll do a Rip Van Winkle and a Pelican.
Dude. Rip Van Winkle's making another callback at some point in this campaign. I can already feel it. You guys want to do the Rip Van Winkle? All right. So we'll say you guys are able to. Is anyone going in without putting on medical scrubs? I guess we'll say that. Say it that way. So everyone dons their medical scrubs.
Can I observe from another room?
You can. There is an observation room.
I don't want to freak her out, so
yeah.
I'll observe from another room.
You can. So it's not like an interrogation room. So, it's like an open window. They'll be able to see you standing out there. But
I'll put the sunglasses on, I guess.
Okay. So, but as you guys enter in, Big McLarge is working at one of the systems consoles, bringing her back down with different injections. And
just to be clear, I do want to have my Ixion damper active here for this conversation.
Okay. So you're activating? Okay.
Yeah.
So as the injections continue to feed in to her, she slowly starts to wake up and look around the room, her eyes adjusting, clearly, having both physical and mental kind of drag to getting into a point where she can process anything. And she starts to look around, and where am I? Who are you? Where is this?
Miss, we found you drifting on the shores of Orion.
What?
Do you know what year it is?
She pauses for a second and looks down, and then her head almost snaps up in like a completely different movement than she has made this entire time, and stares blankly at you, and she says, Harak. And then there's like kind of like a moment where she almost like is like readjusting again, as if like just when she woke up, and she starts to look around. She goes, where am I? Who are you? Where is this?
I'm going to lean into Jace. Did you hear her say Alrak?
What's going on? And I guess here I'll ask, did anybody, I'm assuming, tie her down? Or is she unbound?
I'm going to say that she was bound, seeing as he said she's possibly a face dancer and they're like professional assassins.
Wasn't a trick question. I was just asking, would you guys have bound her down or not? So she's bound. Okay.
Well, yeah, to ease her transition, so she doesn't jerk her arms around to like.
No problem. I just didn't want to say she gets up if you guys had thought.
God, Chris, yeah, she was bound. Okay. Come on.
She starts looks around and she kind of starts tugging at her arms,
like all my
in
women.
the bound, and she's like, "What? Who are you? Where am I?"
I knew we liked each other, Trey.
And she starts to look at you guys again.
As my colleague said, we found you and your ship floating.
Oh, where? What ship?
Wait, one sec. The shore, like the shores of Orion, I'm guessing is somewhere just like out in space.
Yeah, just some random fucking place.
Well,
I cribbed it
I just
from
want to make
fucking
sure.
Blade
I
Runner.
just want to make sure it's not like a planet. Yeah,
No.
we found your ship floating in the void, and we brought you here
You know, you're very fortunate. Your life support pod only had another 7 years of battery left.
What pod? What ship?
The ship that you...
Where am I?
The records say that you were aboard the Shadowcaster.
I just want to go home. Where is this? Why are you keeping me?
Well, we're trying to establish a baseline.
You must understand, ma'am. Being a member of the Thylaxu, the outlawed race of beings that led the Fourth Butlerian Jihad, your existence is a crime against humanity. If you do not answer our questions to your fullest ability, we are obligated to terminate you.
She is like getting visibly panicked at this point. Starting to get like concerned. And McLarge Shoes looks over and he goes, "Should I administer something? Or do you prefer her in a extended state?"
We'll stick with the extended state for now. However, the bots may be used later if she remains uncompliant.
At that point in time,
Come on, guys, make some shit up with me.
She starts struggling significantly more. She's like, "Please just let me go."
Do you recall your destination?
Your bone density has depleted since you've been in hibernation for so long. You need to take it easy, or you may cause yourself to deteriorate past the point of us being able to bring you back. Please, for your own being, calm.
No, let me go. She's like, "What are you talking about? Let me go." And she continues to struggle.
Your ship contained a lost form of alien artificial intelligence. You must tell us where you were taking it.
As you finish, her head snaps again, and she whispers, "Haderach." And then it looks like over the next few seconds,
At that point, Janude's visibly going to turn to Jay. Say, "Okay, she's trying to say Arrakis. What is she talking about?"
And she looks back up. She says, "Where am I? Who are you?" And she appears to be significantly calmer.
What is Arak?
She's saying Haderach.
Haderach.
Okay, well, I'm going to repeat back what she said. And what is that you just said, Haderach?
You ask her that question, and her head immediately snaps up, and she just says, "Haderach." And then she starts to reset again. And Big McLarge from the corner says, "She appears to have a disc strands embedded in her head. It is possible that it could be damaged and or somehow linked to her current mental state."
A what now? I don't know what that is.
It's a disc strands. It is a device which is embedded into creatures, animals, and also sometimes people that you can embed encrypted messages into, upon which the individual will repeat once a specific word is stated.
Do we know what language she's talking in?
She's speaking in whatever the common tongue is of the Empire.
Okay. Do I recognize that word?
You would not.
How do you spell that?
Haderach.
Oh, Haderach.
Are you just making that up?
No, it's a very big thing in the Dune world. I don't know.
No, like
when
the way you spell when you were spelling it, like your reflection at the end was like, I think
that's how he spells it. I'm not
Yeah. No, so that's the quiz act for you. Is that something that's known widely outside the Bene Gesserit, or is
not outside the Bene Gesserit and not outside of Arrakis itself? So you would probably not know anything about it. I'm gonna say you won't know anything about it.
okay?
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot about it. Damn it!
Well, you may or may not. You may or may not. Who knows? You think you know.
Okay, so
But
she's
shit's
got.
about to get real.
What did he say she's got in her head?
A distrans. And so, yeah, effectively it is a big make large huge, very, you know, informational dump states that, like I said, it's a implanted device that can be implanted into any living creature, and it is triggered by a specific word that they embed into it.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Effectively, except it's not data; it's like a recorded, like
Alright,
message.
So I'll look at her and just say, are you aware that you have some primitive device embedded in your head?
As soon as you say that, her head snaps. She whispers, "Hadarak," and then she starts to reset. And I will say, at this point in time, your highly keen mind has immediately recognized that anytime she is asked a question, she immediately has this reset trigger.
Well,
Can
so
we
the thing's
disable
triggered
that?
by questions?
It's happened every time you have asked her a question.
Hmm.
She has reset, effectively.
And
Why
when
were
I
you
said it to
taking-
her, she reset.
Yeah.
Say what?
And when I said how to whatever the fuck the word is to her, she reset too.
No, she had just reset because he had asked the question. I apologize. She did not react to when you said it to her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, but I did ask it in the form of a question. I said, "What is Hadarok?"
Right.
So,
Exactly. Yeah.
all right. So when she comes out this time, I'm just gonna say the word to her.
Okay. She kind of looks at you strangely, but continues back on with her normal line of questioning, being like, "Where am I? Who are you people?"
Tell me about the Hadarok.
And she snaps her head up and she goes, "Hadarak," and then she starts to reset.
That was not a
That's
question.
not a question.
Tell me about the Hadarak. That's a
That's a
question.
command. Tell me about the Hadarok.
Pretty okay. Well, she still does it. That is a command in the form of a question.
Tell me where you're going.
Actually, scratch that and reverse it, Chris. It was a
I
question
know.
in the form of a
I was making a joke. Yeah.
Tell me where you were going.
She just looks around and says, "Who are you? What's going on? Where am I?"
Is there? I'm gonna ask Doc if there's a way to disable the device.
Can disable it, but it would turn her off.
Is it broken?
The device itself appears not to be broken, but I'm still running some diagnostics.
How long will that take?
Probably at least a few days. There does seem to be some swelling in her cranial, in her brain.
Is there a way to relieve this? Is there a way to relieve the swelling without taking her brain out?
What would Aaron do?
Without taking her brain out.
I can make her brain significantly
stab her in the
smaller,
forehead.
piece by piece. Yeah.
Is there a way
Swelling's
that
gone.
is there a way that we can? Is there any kind of like cranial anti-inflammatory?
Those drugs, yeah, drugs have already been administered, but it will take a little bit of time.
Okay.
So, having dealt with distrans before, they are quite sophisticated technology, and the easiest way to access them would be with the specific password.
Azars.
It does not trigger her. She continues to act normally.
And there was nothing in the logbook about her at all.
No.
Not in the unencrypted stuff that you can
Where's
read.
the where's the logbook at?
I guess I can have it. I have it.
I want to start reading off the coordinates to her.
Okay.
Well, those weren't in the logbook.
Well, there's two different books. So there's like the smuggler book and there's like the logbook, the captain's logbook. I assume you're talking about the smuggler book. The one you
Yeah,
found in the
whichever
smuggler
one
book.
had the coordinates in it.
Yeah, you start reading them out to her. She has no different reaction to any of those.
Okay, so we found location coordinates planetary and then a passcode to access something. What was the passcode that we found?
So they're just different words. and so you can start reading those if you'd like.
Yeah, I want to start reading those.
Are we gonna Winter Soldier this bitch?
They also do not trigger any different reaction.
I want to read them in the correct order.
What is the correct order?
You tell me, damn it.
I will tell you.
Jace, smart guy, what's the correct order for the passcode?
I will tell you so that we don't bog down that those passcodes do not relate to her.
God damn it.
So
Freight
no matter
train.
what combination you try.
Red, winter, 42, blue.
And Will Smith shows up.
Smack the fuck out of that bitch.
Not for 10 years.
Sorry.
You can't go back to the Oscars for 10 years, guys.
That was inappropriate. I'm sorry. Too soon. No, I'll just let you know that So
They canceled his movie
passcodes
too.
don't connect. Wow, I mean, when you slap America's sweetheart Chris Rock,
Does Shadowcaster, does that trigger her at all?
it does not. You've already said that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I don't know what the trigger word is.
Can we put her back on ice until we figure out what we want to do?
Is
Miranda.
is the device trying to transmit? Can we?
It is not. It is not externally connected.
Okay.
We know what the name of the ship
But
was.
does it have anything to like accept a transmission?
No, it does not. You would have to know the word to program her effectively.
No. What I mean is like is our damper like if we turned off the dampening field that we have like set up?
Oh,
Maybe
I
she
see.
needs an update.
You can try it.
Firmware.
Yeah, she needs a firmware update through the cloud.
You could try it if you'd like.
All right, I'll turn off my Ixion damper.
It does not change.
I'll turn my Ixion damper back on.
It does not change.
Fucker. All right, I guess let's put her back on ice till we can figure out what the passcode is or what the trigger word is. Hell, there may be multiple trigger words.
Big McLeod True says it's possible, but that is unlikely.
Or maybe we gotta
And-
ask her the right question.
And he begins to inject her with the sleep juice. Or not. I will go ahead and let you know any question you ask her triggers her into her reset mode as you start to ask questions.
Okay.
So you can continue to ask questions if you'd like, but
Just to keep her resetting.
Just-
Jigs.
yeah. Just a little out of game information.
So wait,
she will
when-
reset.
I have an idea. We know that if we say, if we ask her a question, or if we say the word to her, whatever, Hotterock, she'll pause for a moment and reset.
Well, she only resets with a question. She didn't respond to Hot Rock.
That's correct. So I think it's fairly safe to let her out of her restraints and see what she does.
Based answer.
Yeah, but all we need to say is, "What are you doing?" and she's going to reset, giving us enough time to subdue
Dude,
her
she
again.
could totally be fucking with us right now. Highly trained assassin.
Doctor, can you tell if she's?
Jack hopes she
human?
is. Jack really hopes that there's an opportunity to show his special skill set.
Shink, shink.
Jack's like, I haven't killed anyone in a long time.
What were you
Jack's like,
saying?
boys, I've been training for this moment.
What were you saying, Guy?
Like if the doctor could tell if she's human.
She's definitely human. But that does not exclude face dancers, as face dancers are technically human.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Yeah, they're just a fucking weirdo version of a human. So I will say, after a decent amount of time monkeying around with the woman, you receive notice from Gloria, the spy master, that we would need to meet up with Lady Maria to receive direction for our plan for the Landsraad. when will you be available after your? And she kind of looks around the medical bay. Your current endeavors.
I don't know. Could we bring this chick with us?
Big McLarshu says it would be possible, but not advisable. She's not in 100% stable condition, as she appears to be continually suffering some sort of neural reset.
Okay. All right. I guess we can head to the Landsraad meeting.
So, and just to be clear, so your meeting's still on your planet, just about. It's basically like the pre-trip meeting, right? Like, hey, let me tell you what I want from you when you go, type of thing.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah. So, and you also froze. Your screen did.
Good to see you as always,
just-
Maria.
He's just very still.
Okay. You
yeah,
guys
so-
froze for a second too. I think I'm
Yeah,
lagging.
you're back.
Hi.
So I guess, was there anything else you guys were wanting to do
Was
with
a
the
second
woman in the
ago.
medical bay, or
You going to bed?
would you like to speak
I'll see you in
with
the morning. Yeah, give me a hug.
the family? The family.
I guess let's go talk to the family.
Yeah, I mean, are we putting her back on ice, or what are we doing with her? What do we decide?
Do you want a couple
Yeah.
of the
Big
I think right now
Yeah, can you
keep
bring
her
me a little glass of
sedated
milk, too?
until the swelling in her brain goes down, and then we can try
Where's
this
your
again.
mother?
She's upstairs.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, you have 3.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys enter into the main council room, you all having your specific seats, but the entirety of the council room is not filled, except for you, Janud. You have no seat here in the council room, but everybody else kind of. You all have your own seats. You can either find your way there, or you can just stand, because it doesn't
So
seem
I
to be a
brought a
formal
wearable
meeting.
chair.
Oh fucking hell! Do not fucking.
Out of his belt and just
No. Dude. Now I'm going to see is stupid Silicon Valley in my head. All right, so you've broken me, damn it. Yeah, so you arrive and Maria greets everybody in her normal, warm, inviting demeanor, and
Does milk smell
she
like
says,
this?
"So we are
Oh, just
scheduled to
smelled
be
really
at the Landsraad for the
and
emergency
there was
vote
like a little
in-
chunk.
Yeah, come on top.
2 weeks' time, but we're asking for you all to be part of the advanced team
Who knows,
to make
Yeah, it
sure
didn't
that our
smell right.
arrival goes as expected. And with the more recent activities between House Corinthia and the random ship crashing, that there's nothing to surprise us once we get there,
Understood.
and that Pablo will be safe. Also,
Would you like us to use our normal security measures, or would you like us to use more enhanced security for this trip?
there's no more dangerous place in the universe than the Landsraad, so just be aware of everything and make sure that you secure it well.
Well,
And
do we know that the chick is a face dancer? Or are we just assuming that?
I think
No.
someone said it, and you guys just started assuming it.
I led you down a rabbit hole because someone said Talaxu.
Yeah.
But not all Talaxu are face dancers.
Correct.
Just FYI, it's like a very small group of specifically.
Can I
Yeah.
give you a
created
threat
people.
to make that chick a face dancer?
Can you give me a threat to make her a face dancer?
Yeah. We got a face dancer that resets anytime somebody asks it a question, so we can just tell it to impersonate Pablo, and he doesn't have to go.
He also
Uh,
can't answer any questions.
Well, that's normal.
So what happens when they say, "How do you vote"?
Where am I again? Sorry, Pablo hit his head getting off the ship.
And when does her face reset when she resets?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I feel like she'd be a gray amorphous figure.
How'd
I'm-
she get here? I had no
I'm
idea how that happened.
going to make a judgment call, and I'm going to decline your offer of a threat. Just FYI. Although I like it, but I will decline the offer of a threat for this particular change. But yeah, so I have also we request that you gather information regarding the upcoming vote, as it's not normal that emergency votes get cast, and we would prefer to know ahead of time what some of the implications could be of the decision made on the floor. And she kind of looks at you, Jace, for a second. And she goes, preferably, we would like to know what the vote's about and what the consequences, possible consequences of every outcome might be.
I will endeavor to gather that information and make a prediction for you.
Somebody get that
And
man
then-
some Sappho.
And then she she looks towards you, Janand, and she says, and we've made arrangements for a meeting with Gilly to discuss our next agreement. And Gilly is, as you've met before, is like your contact inside the Emperor's circle for your smuggling deals.
Should I list that as an asset?
No, because that's more of a house asset than a you asset.
Okay.
So it's just a point of contact, yeah. And then and she says, and of course you'll have access to whatever you need to secure the facilities and get the job done. Do you have any questions before your trip? Or have we made ourselves clear?
I understand what's required.
Yeah, what's a Hatterack?
I am not sure. Is it some sort of adornment that you would put on your head?
I don't know. We found apparently a Thylaxu on the ship that crashed, and whenever we ask her a question, she just says Hatterack, and then she resets. Apparently there's
Yeah.
a passcode.
Yes, Gloria has informed me of the ongoing situation with our unannounced visitors. It may be wise to use the opportunity on the Landsraad to try and gather additional information regarding that as well. If there's someone who may be able to shine a light on that situation, I would assume it would be some of the individuals there. However, I'm not yet ready to say that it's an entire coincidence that mere weeks before an emergency vote, a rogue ship ends up on our doorstep. So I would be careful with whom we're spreading that information around with.
We are always careful, Maria.
She literally gives you like eat shit and die look just out of the corner of her eye.
I just give her the pleasant blank stare.
Yeah, she, I mean, doesn't even like bother to acknowledge your response other than just like giving you a death stare. She goes, all right, well, then I will give myself leave. So good luck, and we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Sounds good.
All right. So I would say at this point in time, you guys can collect whatever assets you would like to change up. Let me know if there's any other small tasks you'd like to complete, and then otherwise, the next scene will take place on House Corin, or on Corin the planet for House Garino, and we can go from there. But I will also use this time to take a quick break. So any other small things you guys want to do, or any other activities you guys want to do on Elysium?
So how
Not
many
me
assets
personally.
are we supposed to have?
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess my third asset that I picked, can I have an orbital transport that would just represent my ship?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm good to go then.
Okay. Well, I'll take a quick break. If there's any asset questions or anything like that, let me know, and then, like I said, we'll jump back into House Corin once we land.
Well, all right.
So it sounds like we already have a contact at this place we're going, right?
Yeah,
I hear that.
I have two of my assets. One is blackmail information, which I may have to whip out and use on somebody here, and the other is an inside informant, who is, I'm gonna say, not the like a different informant from the one we have as my asset. Um, so
Well, I have two openings for assets, so I can. If you think of anything good, I'm kind of blanking.
I don't know. Don't you have something like the dead guy guild? Like you can, talk to all the other dead people.
No, what I am is like super uncommon. Typically they don't give them away. They make them and use them as either like agents or labor or like, they're kind of just like blank imprints that they Talaxu can use. Uh, Pablo bought me.
Gotcha. That's interesting.
Yeah, you don't normally see one walking around.
So you're just like an oddity.
Hmm.
Well, all right then. Mm, just not sure. I mean, John, I'm figuring you're gonna have You're gonna be in charge of security.
I mean, that would be my guess. I am the sword master, so security detail is going to be my thing.
You and Guy can work on that.
Hmm.
Oh, Guy, you want
Well,
you're
that's
a
what I was going to ask.
wait, hang on, Guy, you're a lieutenant, so wouldn't like a good asset for you be like a contingent of the House Guard?
Yeah, well, I could definitely have like like a contingent of like a security contingent that is with us. I could definitely do that.
I bring in my las gun in case we need to end this thing in an apocalypse of fun.
Well, that's what I was
So
going to say. So, like, Jack O'Neill is good at leading like small groups and also individual combat, and like good at good at taking on small groups, but he's not really like the commander type. So unless he needs to be, so he trains people, he gets them ready to fight, but his main thing is like taking a combat himself. So
you're
like
literally Jack O'Neill.
that's literally what I'm trying to make. Yes.
No,
That,
I have the tactics
yeah,
focus
yeah.
for like squad tactic like
Perfect.
command.
See, yeah,
So
I straight up my focus is battle and move. So if you got tactics, that's perfect. And my power and faith are or power and truth are my top. So I'm a very violent destructive person, but an individual that will fuck shit up. I can be
So
an asset for you, basically.
So I was thinking we're talking. I should bring an asset of security detail or like a small squad with us.
yeah, that's definitely doable. You could put down like a guard force.
Guard force. That's a good one.
Not conscripts.
Persephone guard force.
Yeah, as an
House.
asset. Yeah, you can do that. So, kind of a little bit of logistics here, since I'm both I and I think everybody else is still trying to get used to this kind of new system. How what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of list out the obvious scenes that I think have been placed out there. That does not include all of the possible scenes, and that also doesn't include if you guys want to do something entirely different. I'm just trying to make sure that while the paths are open, you guys also have some options and direction if you want it, right? So kind of think of it as here are the rails. You can start there or ride them if you want, or you can jump off of them. But based on the proposed information from Maria and everybody, I would say you're right. You have scenes of securing your residences on Corin. So the residences that they've gave your house to stay in while you're here, you have securing those. There are also for these big Landsraad events, there are meetings of the different schools. So like there will be spacing guild meetings going throughout the event. There'll be Mentat school meetings. So if you guys want to go and mingle amongst other individuals from your faction, you can go there. I can't remember, John, were you part of the Swordmaster house, the school, or are you just a Swordmaster?
Originally, I came from the school, was the idea, and then was brought over to the family and kind
Okay.
of made a name. Like my goal is basically to become a warrior of legend, and so like I want people to know my name, and so I joined this family, thinking that would be an excellent
Gotcha.
activity for me because I would get a lot of opportunity to flex my skills.
Okay, so then there's the so then the faction of Swordmasters, I forgot exactly what their name is, but there's those as well. So there are those scenes as well, and then there's also the scene of meeting Gilly and your contact through the house.
Yeah, I also have, as an asset, I have like an inside informant.
Okay. So there's
So like a separate one, not the blackmail, like an inside informant. Just a contact that I can
okay.
get
So
some
how
more information on like what the hell's going on.
sure, and how that works is at any point you want to use that, you get to pick at what point what they're the inside of at that point, right? So if you want them to be part of how inside of House Carino, you can decide that
definitely.
whenever.
It's someone inside House Carino who can
Okay.
get me.
I'm saying you don't
I'm
have
trying to figure out the information that.
the vote.
Yeah, I want to.
Okay.
I want to try and figure out. Like, I need to figure out what the vote is, so then I can figure out what the implications of the vote are going to be,
Gotcha.
so I can do my job.
Okay. So yeah, so then there's also that you can meet with your contact as well. So I then open the floor to you guys. To
And this whole time, I am, running the calculations in the back of my head about the cipher and all that, trying to break it.
Okay. Yeah, so that'll be kind of like a downtime activity for you when you're not doing other things.
Took a Sibis hood as my third asset.
Okay. That'll be very beneficial for you.
A what now?
So a Sibis hood is a hood that you wear just like almost like a cloak hood, but it has Ixine technology in it which makes your face almost like non-discernible. Like anytime you look at him, he will look like a slightly different person. So it's almost like making you nondescript in a crowd.
Oh, that's really useful for those mechanical dead eyes.
Yeah, exactly. So people will never be quite sure what his face really looks like. They'll always just see something else.
But they will know, but most people would know that he's wearing this hood.
I mean,
It's basically the way it works is like if you're just passing by, people wouldn't notice. It's more like if they seriously are looking at you, they might be like, something's weird about your face. But yeah, it's meant to be like one of those things people's eyes kind of pass over.
Yeah. So if someone stops to talk to him or starts to really
Yes.
investigate, they'll notice he's wearing it. But
Yeah.
it gives you that Assassin's Creed kind of blend in with the crowd type of thing.
Gotcha.
All right. So, yeah. So you guys tell me where would you like to start? I'll open it up at that point.
So I assume we get there fine, safely. No
Yeah.
incidents?
So highliners are completely safe, unlike what you've just experienced. So the
No,
guild
I
navig-
just meant like last time we tried to land on a planet. You know.
Oh, right. This time, house that the House Carino guards happily welcome you in. Your transport is able to land successfully at one of the designated visitation bays for the minor houses. So you guys have a welcoming, albeit small, group of House Carino guards that kind of signal you and other small houses kind of into the capital and the Landsraad itself, so that you can find where you're staying and prepare for your stay.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, you guys can start there. You can start at the what is effectively your hotel, the Landsraad has put you up in for your vote, or is there something else you would like to currently pursue?
Does anybody else want to go first?
I'll let you guys lead. I'm just gonna be following you guys around anyways to make sure you don't get yourselves in any trouble.
I would like to reach out to Gilly and ask her if she knows anything about the Hatterack.
Okay. So, Gilly Tick. I don't. Can I let you view this? I don't know if I can. So I'll just put him down here. So Gilly Tick is a man. He's your contact inside the. Can you guys see that I just put up there?
Yeah.
The little token. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, Gilly is your contact inside. So you kind of do your normal schedule to meet him. You know, your signal to meet him. And as smugglers tend to do, he's not the fancy type. So he kind of directs you to a small watering hole just on the outside of the capital itself.
You know.
Are you going alone, or is anyone else going with?
I'll go with him.
House Carino in these types of places can sometimes be a unfriendly place.
I definitely would be joining as well.
Yeah, I'll bring them. I'm just gonna explain to you guys that Gilly usually meets me alone, so I'm gonna have y'all hang back a little ways
Sure.
when we get to the meeting spot.
Less worried about Gilly, more worried about you.
Yeah.
So just kind of making sure like I have eyes on you, not really concerned about your contact.
Do we have like a pocket communicator or anything that I could leave open so they could hear me talking, but not necessarily like talk to me?
There are, I can't remember what they're called. There are communication devices. I don't know if they're kind of like standard mics, like open. I think they're more like almost like a subdermal implant type of thing in the Dune universe.
Okay.
So I'll look into it. For now, we'll say yes, and then I'll look into it and dig deeper into it for next session. So so as you get there, you know, you find the place pretty easily, and as you come in, you know, Gilly is already there and is kind of watching for you, gives you the nod. He notices that you're with other individuals, but seeing them kind of break off, doesn't seem bothered by it.
Yeah, I definitely tried to be part of the crowd and not look like I was walking with him.
So once you get into the bar itself, are you going to, I guess, sit at a? I assume you don't want to sit at the bar where you'll be directly face to face ordering, like with a bartender type.
No,
Are
I'm
you
gonna
gonna
edge.
be-
I'm gonna edge lord.
Okay, you're gonna edgelord it.
Find a corner.
Okay.
Corner
Oh,
Yeah,
lord.
I'm going
Corner
right
lord.
up. I'm going right up to the bartender, and I'm gonna start trotting him up, and I'm gonna get a drink, and I'm just gonna be like, if I'm not trying to hide in the shadows, if that makes any sense. Like, if people want to find
Yeah.
me, I'm there, but I'm
We
also
will
paying close attention.
come back to that.
Okay.
Jace, are you edge lording or flapping your peacock wings or something in between?
Something in between.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, something in between. I'm just kind of,
Acting normal.
yeah, I'm just being me, you know?
Okay. I'm not sure what that means yet, but we'll figure it out. All right. So then, Susan, you head for the table with Gilly. He kind of makes eye contact with you and signals you over. As you get there, your whatever it is, your drink of choice is already there on the table. It looks like
We get a dirty Sanchez.
it looks like it's been there a little for a little bit, few minutes, but it's definitely what you would normally order. So, and as you get into the area, Gil looks up and he goes, "Ah, how are you doing? It's been a little while."
Yeah, it has. We're on a little bit of official business, but I wanted to touch base with my old pals here. We got a bit of a situation on Elysium.
Well then, unofficial business calls for second drinks. He goes, "I love it when you have unofficial business." And then he kind of waves over and signals for two more, and he just like downs his and starts to wait for the other. And he says, "So what is it? Most of the time when you have unofficial business, it makes me lots of money."
Well, I've got what looks to be a rogue highliner, low-key private class. It seems to inadvertently crash landed on Elysium. Took it's like a Tlilaxu woman off board. She's got some kind of distrans in her skull. Can't figure out what the trigger word is, but whenever I ask her a question, she just says one word back to us. Says Haderach. Does that mean anything to you?
He the second drinks arrive, and he kind of does that like quiet thing, where there's somebody's too close to the table and you kind of wait for them to leave. And then he takes a long moment and takes a drink, and he says, "Rogue highliners, Talaxo women, sounds like your unofficial business brings more trouble than money this time."
There could be a miniature Holtzman drive in it for you.
He kind of like looks a little surprised, like in a good way, but then he goes, "That sounds really hard to move. Maybe you have something for me that's a little easier to carry around the street." And dealing with Gilly before, he's
I'll
basically
pull the
asking for a
packs of
bribe.
spice out of my. I'll pull a couple of the packs of spice out. How many packs would you say that I got? Said there were small packets of spice. In the compartment.
So it looks like there was 3 of them, and they look like they were packaged already basically as bribes. Like they're kind of packaged how you would bribe somebody with spice if you were going to bribe somebody with spice. So them being in a smuggler's compartment, already pre-packaged for distribution, effectively, it's pretty safe to say they were like basically bribe spice.
Okay, I'll pull one out and slide it across the table under my drink.
He puts his drink down after finishing it and kind of nonchalantly grabs it and pocks it, and he goes, "Haderach, Haderach, when's the last time you've been to Arrakis?"
Try not to go there. The
Ah.
sand gets everywhere. It's too coarse.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only two places I try and avoid: Carino and Arrakis. I'd seem to do a bad job at both. And then he signals for like a third drink. Doesn't order you one this time, just signals one for himself and says, "They often whisper a lot on Arrakis about a Haderach. I think they call him the Kwisatz. Kwisatz Haderach. I don't
Who's
know what it
they?
is. The Fremen, the Iraqis, those that are native
Fucking
to the
dirt
planet.
worshippers.
Yeah,
Jesus, all they talk about is pulling their worm out of their pants.
well, apparently they need this this Haderach fella to do it for them. So, I don't know. I don't get involved with too much of the locals' talks, but you can't go very far without hearing some of them talk about it. They don't talk about it in the open, but the places you and I visit, they'll whisper it around. If she's running her mouth about the Haderach, I would assume she's recently spent some time there.
Good info. Thanks, Gilly.
He starts to sip on his third, and he goes, "So is that all you had? Should we get down to it, or you had something else you wanted to discuss?"
Was there anything else we needed to ask him?
Well,
he's-
we were here to.
Yeah, we're here about the
Talk to him.
Landsraad, but I wasn't really. I was here to ask him about the Haderach, try to find out anything about the Flylaxu. I didn't really have anything to ask him about the meeting.
Well, he's about to give you a job if you Maria set up a meeting with him because the Emperor has something for you guys to do.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Didn't she send us to talk to him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that's what he's saying. Should we get down to the business?
Okay,
or
yeah,
do you have
yeah.
something else to
Sorry,
talk about?
I must have
Yeah.
missed that.
No worries. Yeah.
No, what do you got for me?
He he pulls out like a small kind of almost like a cloth sack, and slides it over to you on the table, and he says, your winnings from the other night's game that I owed you. It includes the key to my ship over in the Dock 324B. So I know you said you had some family over in the Quintel district. So I think I've heard of a pretty good mechanic over there on Third Moon, the Quintel 3. Her name's Vivica. Vivica Holt. So when you get over there, you said you were dropping that off for your sister. You may want to drop it off by Vivica's and have her take a look at some of the shoddy repairs. Get them done right, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll have her take a look under the hood.
Alright. She's leaving town, though. Not too long from now. So, you may want to get it over there, say, next 3 weeks or so.
Sounds good.
Alright, well, it was good catching up with you. Next time, maybe I'll, and he kind of looks around, like he's surveying the others in the room. He says, next time I'm sure I'll come up the winner at our games. But for now, he kind of shakes his pocket at you with had the spice in it, and he goes, you know where to find me if you need anything else.
Yeah, next time we'll put the 82 Skyline on the table. How about that?
Ah, sounds good. Sounds good. And then he kind of gives you like a a friendly like pat on the shoulder in like a smuggler to smuggler, people don't live long in this business type of way, and starts to find his way out.
Sounds good. I'll down my drink and then rejoin the group.
Okay. So I will say you in game would know exactly what he was saying. Was there anything that was unclear about that?
It sounds like we need to go to 324B and take a ship to Quintil 3 to Vivica.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
I will relay that to the group, and I'll also relay the Haderach refers to a Kwisatz Haderach. Apparently, that's something that's real big among the Fremen on Arrakis. So Gilly thinks that our Tleilaxu probably visited there recently, and that has something to do with her conditioning. So I don't know if our planetary coordinates would tie to Arrakis or whatever her destination was, but I guess it's a new lead.
Okay.
I guess would
We would have. We got those mic things, right? So we heard that whole conversation.
Yeah, I was saying we can allow that for now.
Sure.
okay.
All
Do
right.
you, want me
So
to, do you want me to tail that guy, or are we cool? We cool with his info?
I don't think would I have any reason to distrust Gilly? I don't think I would. I mean, Maria sent us here. I've dealt with him before too.
I mean, like I said, your guys' second domain was smuggling for House Carino. He's basically the one that gives you guys the jobs, right? So
Yeah.
this is a pretty.
Okay.
I mean, it's not every day. It's not something standard, and obviously you're doing something off the books, so it's never like without risk. But Gilly's never led you wrong yet, so I would say you guys trust Gilly. He's so far a trusted.
He's a piece of
individual.
shit.
Right. Yeah, that's what I said. So while that's going on and they're having that conversation, Jack, you're at the bar, and you're having it up, and you hear from behind you, Jack? Is that you, Jack? I would know that fucking loudmouth anywhere.
I turn around and I embrace him and I say, "You son of a bitch!" And we just do that right
Yeah.
there.
And so this is someone you know from your training at the Sword Master School. We'll call him Rin Diadin.
Then you son of a bitch, and then we do the whole thing, and then we lock hands and we try to struggle a little, and I'm like, ha 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 ha, and that's what happened.
Rin, Jack, together, drinking
Perfect.
lots. Yeah, no, I got it.
Perfect.
Yeah, so he shows up and he goes, "Oh, you guys here for the vote? Are you still with that small house back in what is it? Omega system?"
I mean, just trying to kind of spread my wings and see what happens, man. How about you?
No, man, living the dream.
Yeah, you still get in the fight all the time, or are you still just training, or what is it that you're doing?
Well, House Carino doesn't exactly have the upward trajectory of some of those smaller houses, but I get my scraps in.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Love it. No, man, like you said, it's one of those things. You gotta get a little action and get a little bit of a name for yourself.
Yeah, well, I don't think too many people know my name around here, but I've heard a few things about what's going on out there.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like you're getting yours going.
I mean, I'm not a bragger, but
Well, I
10 and a
heard
half
you.
inches.
Well, yeah. I mean, my sword's slightly bigger, but let's not talk.
I like them smaller, just they're more maneuverable.
Yeah. Okay. I heard you already made Swordmaster out there.
I did.
That's-
I've been training some good recruits, and the family has blessed me with the position, and I am grateful for the opportunity. And yeah, it's been good.
He gives you like a hearty slap on the back, like trying to give a little bit of pain, prove he's
I'm hugging
tougher.
you,
And,
but I'm hitting
yeah.
you.
And he, the other side of his mouth, he's like ordering. He's like, "Give us 2 drinks. We got to celebrate here." sword master of the house. That's it's a big deal. And as he starts to take his first drink, he continue the conversation. He says, "So are you coming out to the formal?"
Oh, yet to see, man. I don't remember the dates on that, but we'll have to see depending on what the
Is
house
this-
allows.
Is this your first time at one of the Landsraad events? And out of game, you can pick either one.
Oh yeah,
You-
for
do
sure.
you want
I've
this to
been
be your first time?
Yeah, oh yeah. This is my first time because I've been so preoccupied with building a brand, as
Sure.
it were, that
Okay.
I haven't really had time for the pleasantries.
Okay, sure. No, he goes, come on, man. He starts to write down on a napkin. He's like, look, and he kind of like looks around for a second. He goes, well, all the fucking snuffies are doing their thing and deciding who all goes to which planet to die. He goes, come check us out. The inner house formal. That's
That
where
sounds great, man.
all the fun individuals end up.
Fun. All right. Is there any fighting?
Well, there tends to be something. You get a couple
long as-
Sardaukar.
As
in
long
a
as there's the
same
three
place.
Fs, as long as there's the three Fs, I'm always going to be interested. At least two of the three.
Fighting, furniture breaking, and fundamentals. Oh, food. Oh, got it. Yeah, we can manage that. There'll definitely be some food.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So, and he continues to talk to you a little bit about some of the things going on before Janute starts to come back, and as he does, he kind of tips his last glass to you and knocks it down. He goes, "Well, you gotta get going. It's they have us all on guard duty with all the riffraff coming in."
As he's swallowing that, I'm just going to take a hand and I'm just gonna smack him on the back like a hearty good job, friend. But I also am gonna return the pain and make him choke on his drink.
He does gives a little joke, and then he kind of gives you like a little fake him drawing his sword for a second, and then he kind of gives you a pat on the shoulder and says, "All right, I'll see you." He's like, "Trust me, come out to the formal. They're always a good time."
Sounds good, buddy.
And he heads off.
I immediately just inform my team that there's some kind of weird formal going on and that it might be some fun and information time. But there's definitely going to be two of the three Fs.
All right. All right. So, that anything else that you guys were looking to do there, or I guess what are you guys looking to get into now?
I think at this point, now that we've got our house business taken care of, should see to the arrangements for the meeting. So whoever the contact is that we've been told to meet for that, so we can make the arrangements.
Which arrangements are you speaking about?
The security arrangements, and then I'd also like to talk to my informant.
Oh, so security arrangements would basically just be you guys checking the facilities, making sure that you have your guardsmen in place, and then also checking the facilities for poison snoopers, anything that might be in place, listening devices, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I guess I'll say, did anybody?
I could have ordered the guard to start doing all that stuff while we were going to this meeting.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so
Sweeping the rooms, that kind of stuff.
So I'll say the asset you have, then I'll say that they do have the equipment for doing that kind of surveillance, like poison snoopers, that sort of stuff. But that is at the cost of they would not be as effective on some sort of infiltration mission or that type of thing. You know what I
we
mean?
specifically brought them for this purpose,
Right.
something like that. So that's fine. That's the tools
Okay.
that they have.
Okay, so I'll say as all this is going on and the meeting is coming to a close, you received word back that the team did in fact find multiple incidences that you should check out.
The guard reports the rooms may not be clean. We have a few areas we need to check.
Well, let's.
Finally, some fun.
All right, so this is all supposed to be clean, right?
It's supposed to be, yes.
All right, so do we have someone we can talk to at House Corinth about it?
You could reach out to the the rival coordination team. There's not anyone in specifically, but you have.
Oh no, I'm sorry, not the people who are hosting, not Corinth.
Yeah, no, that's the House Carino is hosting. Corinth is the city. House Carino is the house.
Right.
So,
wait, but House Carino who's our rival?
House Corinthia. You guys made it as complicated as possible.
Yes, we did. All right, so I'd like to talk. Whoever is supposed to be in charge from House
Carino. Yes, gotcha. The Emperor's house.
That's who I'd like to talk to.
Okay, so you guys request that someone from the, like I said, the House greetings team be present at your residences.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So are you guys making your way back there now?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys make your way back there from the meeting with Gilly, the greetings team is already there, and then your guards are also stationed at the doors of your royalty suite, and they're currently not letting the Carino members in. And as you guys start to approach, they look towards you, Jack and Guy. And they say, these individuals say you wanted to meet with them, but we didn't want to let anybody else in the room in case, we find something else.
That's correct precaution. We wanted you all to join us inside together. Our teams have found some unacceptable things in the suites that have been offered.
Okay, and so before you enter, I need you. You had the asset guy, so I need you to make a conflict roll, an espionage. So this is going to be an espionage conflict.
Cool.
Just so you guys are aware. So I would say you need to use either, I believe it is discipline or move. So I'll say you can.
Those
use
are
either one of
both. Those are both dump for me. So.
I mean, you can
way.
also have assist, right? So you can also have somebody assist you. You will
Move's
also
one of my best. I can help you out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll confirm that it's one of those. I believe it is, but. So when you were using espionage, you would be using your. So we're allowing you to use your asset that you created for the guards currently, because they are they're the ones that have like the poison snoopers and other items, and so we'll call them like a security measure. And then it does not exactly, it doesn't specify a specific one on espionage. So
Well, what's the contest? What are we contesting? Then I can pick.
I'll give you. You mean the value? Give me 1 second. I'll tell you the value. So I would say though.
Or I meant the action.
Well, the action you're contesting is a discipline. It was discipline used. So Um, but I will say you could also use. I'll say for, like I said, at least for tonight, you can use your battle tactics, and I'll
Yeah,
brush
I was
up
gonna say for
on.
lead. That's kind of like my go-to for like for leading these groups would be tactics
Right.
or
Yes.
or communicate without with no focus. But
Yeah. So I'll say you can use that, and so you can use battle for that, and then you are going to need to. Ooh. So I rolled a
Jeez.
complication and 4 successes. So
holy shit.
first, we'll see what your roll is for your 4 successes, and then we'll determine a complication.
And I can assist on this.
You can assist. Yep.
And he's using his battle. Would I be able to use my battle as well for like evasive action, or?
Yeah, I'll say you can use. Yeah, you can use that. You can use the base
Okay.
action, and you guys do have 1 momentum, so you could buy an extra dice with 1 momentum.
We should probably do that on this, unless you guys disagree.
Go ahead.
Okay. So
Also, I would recommend both of you guys look at your talents in case you have a talent that directly applies to this. So we haven't been using those too much, but
right, that's why I was trying to gather more about like what the role was about.
so effectively, this is the role that has implanted espionage.
Or like how
activities.
good the squad did is kind of what I'm rolling.
Basically, right.
Okay.
Exactly. So you're rolling to see how good the squad uncovered the espionage activities.
Okay, cool. So, I think for my drive, I'll do truth. Well, I don't know. I don't think my statement fits that actually, but so I think I may have to use. I think I may have to use justice. That's my first one with no. I don't think any of my statements fit for drive.
Could I use my statement for truth is you will know me by my
And
deeds.
I'm gonna buy a die.
Okay. I would allow you to use that for truth.
Okay. So that would give me my skill, my drive, and then it says use focus. So since I'm using evasive action, how do I put that on there on the before I roll?
So your focus would be an 8. You'd put the number 8 in
Okay,
there. So if you
okay.
roll under an 8.
And then using determination. So I'm just rolling 1 though, correct?
You are just rolling 1. And you got 2 successes. So we will throw out there really quickly that
I'm rolling high all night.
So you can use a point of determination if you used a drive statement. So that would have been only
I did not.
Jack, yeah.
And that would only give me give us a 3 anyway.
3
Yeah.
successes. Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can do any better than you did, because the only thing you could use it to do would be to re-roll any of your dice. Any
Yeah,
of your
so-
dice.
That's the
yeah.
best I can do.
Technically,
Okay.
if I re-rolled, I could get 2 if it's under an 8. But
But you would have to use your statement. I couldn't
Sure.
use mine.
So, I guess so. You guys are in the process of trying to uncover all the espionage activity that was done to your room. I rolled a complication. Do you guys want to come up with a complication, or do you want me to come up with a complication?
well, I didn't hit the successes, so I don't. Does that mean we didn't find anything?
Well, it means you may not have found everything.
Everything.
The guards have already told you they found something.
Yeah.
So, you found something. The question is what you found.
The complication.
Since it's an espionage and you're not fully aware of the situation, I'm more than happy to come up with a complication.
Because you
I
rolled
was
it,
just,
it's a complication in our favor.
Correct. Yeah, it's in your
Yeah.
favor. Yeah.
Um,
So, like I said, I'm more than happy to come up with one. I was just giving you the opportunity.
Yeah,
So-
a complication. I'm able to figure out, or if we have one of the devices, I can figure out.
Like it points to if another house.
Yeah, like it gives me a good idea of like which house did it.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So, I apologize I cut you off earlier, but I think you were asking the guards to come into the room, I believe, or you were getting the guards to show you what they found.
Yes.
Yes, and
so-
simultaneously show us and the representatives.
Gotcha. So as you come into the room, you do see that there looks to be two devices laid out across one of the beds, and they look to be listening devices, some sort of listening recording devices. And so, Jace, you walk up and start to examine them, and you can tell that they are made of some sort of Tylexu construction. So they're definitely from the Tylexu house.
Okay.
And the House Carino individuals that come in with you, they go, "Oh, I apologize. So this is
This
none
is
of our
outra-
doing.
This is outrageous, is what it is.
We
These
will."
are listening devices made by House Trilexu, and we'd like to know how they got into our suites.
We will be doing everything we can to try and determine that. So we would be happy to provide you with a separate and equal accommodation that is our different accommodation that will provide for your needs.
I
While
think
we do a suite.
upgraded accommodations would be appropriate.
Well, unfortunately, most of our accommodations are already accounted for. As you know, all of the houses are currently arriving for the Landsraad. You can make a communication check if you would like to.
I would like
Try
to
and
push
get-
this dude.
Okay.
I'm gonna use intimidate focus. Looking at him with my dead eyes, and he's in a bad position, and I want to push him.
All right, go for it.
I'm gonna use power. I will have what is owed me, and
Okay, I
Yeah.
think that works pretty well.
it's 15
So give me one
with
second.
a 8 focus.
You have to be one success.
And I'm gonna give you one threat to get a third die.
Oh man, you really want those fancy accommodations.
4 successes, so 3
All
How
right.
the hell did you get 4 successes on 3 D20s?
Critical.
Focus.
Yeah,
Focus,
critical.
man.
Oh, gotcha.
So you gain 3 momentum.
Yes.
And
Ooh, I got a 1? Oh yeah.
Nice. So you gain 3 momentum, and then he kind of looks to the other member, and he says, "Oh," and he kind of gives a head nod. Oh yeah, we definitely definitely we have a few other suites with additional rooms and much closer to the vote, and we will go prepare one for you now. And
Of our
They start
team
to-
accompany you.
oh yeah, of course, and
And I nod to the team
Who's-
leader.
yeah.
Who's the, like, I guess, with the equivalent to, like, the major domo of that, of House?
I'm unfamiliar with that reference.
Like, who's like the head of the, not the head of the house, but, like, I guess,
You looking?
like an envoy from House Corin.
I would say you could. I would say
The
you could find
ambassador.
it. Yeah, I would
Where's
say
the
you could find
ambassador?
you guys would have an envoy you could speak to.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like the highest ranking envoy.
That's fine.
But yeah, but you could definitely find somebody that you could speak to.
Yeah, I'd like to Karen this a little bit.
Okay.
I'd like to speak to your manager.
Okay. Yeah. So, it takes a little bit of time, obviously, but at some point, you guys coming down to meet you guys at your current location is an individual by the name of Ori, and he comes down and he joins you and says, I hear there's been an issue with some hidden features of your room.
Ori. Yes. There has. This is the guy I have blackmail information on.
Oh, okay. Well, then, just so you're aware, he's not actually an envoy. He is one of the infiltrators of the House Carino. So they specialize in espionage, effectively.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
No, I'm just letting you know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So what would your blackmail material be, and how are you planning on using it?
That we found out, or I found out, like he was sloppy on one job, and if like I have proof in my noggin that they were trying to spy on I guess the Emperor's house.
Well, he's part of the Emperor's house.
Wait, fuck.
So you can say he's spying on another major house.
Yeah, spying on another major house.
Okay.
And about what they were looking for. Something damning enough that if it would cause a major fucking incident.
Okay.
And
now it's getting real.
yeah.
how are you gonna use this blackmail material?
Ori, is this like the situation that we helped you out of? I'm assuming there are other people around, so I'm not gonna just come out and fucking.
Sure. Yeah, he kind of takes him a moment, and then he starts to get an idea of what you're talking about. Roll me a. So you'll be using your blackmail information. So roll me a communicate.
Okay.
I guess what the intent here, I'm assuming, is to get some sort of information out of him, or.
Oh, I'm gonna pump him for any of the information that he knows about what's going on.
Okay.
All of that.
All right.
She's been
So
biting at me.
I would say, yeah.
I think she's
we
allergic to
will-
the dog's collar. She's been in her lip the whole time.
So
She's probably gonna
he
try
received
taking
2
his collar off.
successes. So I would say roll me a communication check
We
to
need to stay on top of giving her baths.
using that blackmail material to try and see what you can gather from him.
Okay. So this is an interrogation of sorts, correct? So I can use my focus.
If you're looking specifically for information, I would say you could be using this as interrogation. Yeah.
Okay. And this is a duty because I'm serving. We need this is my duty. I am trying to find out what this
Sure.
vote is about and all of
Okay.
that to further our house. So, oh, I don't. I'm gonna and I'll spend a momentum die too. So it's 3 and nothing. I closed it. Good job, Jim. Okay, hang on. So that's communicate, duty, focus, 3 dice, and
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh, all right. So you guys get 2 momentum, and you can see uh, the understanding register across his face as you begin to speak out, and he goes, well, I understand this seems like a failure on our behalf to catch this clear violation of your security, but I can assure you that House Carino is doing everything it can
Not just our
to
security.
protect.
I mean,
Well,
House
this is
Carino's security.
obviously a slight against us that we'll be dealing with.
I would hope so. May we speak privately?
He looks around, and it being mostly your people in the room, he kind of sends the other two House Carino individuals from the room. He goes, "Of course, for you, we can always speak privately." And then he was, "You like to?"
We can put this. How do I phrase this?
You tell me.
We will, obviously, we'll be following up, but we will not make a public demonstration of our displeasure at this time. If you can tell me why we were called here.
Well,
And please don't just say for an emergency vote. What was the vote? What is it? What is the vote for?
he kind of starts to look around. You can tell he's obviously a little bit nervous. And he says, Advisor, I would assure you that whatever they've called you here for is of great importance. And surely you can understand the need to keep some of these things under close guard until the time of the vote. Otherwise, say if it involved other houses, perhaps.
Like one house spying on another house?
I mean,
Perhaps causing a major incident in the Imperium?
He starts to get more visibly nervous. Says, no, I'm speaking like, for example, if it involved, say, a house being removed from its fiefdom over certain crucial planets underneath the Empire. I mean, surely you would understand the need to have an emergency vote on that.
Indeed. That would be something that we would need an emergency vote on. Especially if it were a house that we were allied with.
Well, last time I've heard, and he kind of looks around and goes, I haven't heard of you being allied with either of the Harkonnen houses. Or
Indeed, we're not.
or any of the major houses that are not House Carino.
That's correct.
So I don't think you have to worry about that. I don't think it involves any house which you're allied with.
No, we definitely would not.
And I think that it would be possible to provide you with something equally as important as the information you have if we can agree that that information will never be used again in the future. And he starts to kind of give you like a much more like commanding look, like, as if he's trying to turn the tables and make a deal.
I would be definitely willing to process that data.
And
Come on. I don't
Would
get a
there
chuckle
be
for my pun. I don't. Fuck you guys. Come on.
I gave you a smirk.
and in the processing of that data, maybe you would need to forget about House Carino's past failures.
It is certainly a possibility.
Well, I'll need more than a possibility.
I need to know what we're talking about.
Oh, you will definitely be interested in this information. So this will be 2 bits that you get for your 1. So I think it's well worth it for you to forget what you know.
Speak.
He takes in a large breath and, kind of almost like stands up a little bit taller and says, well, I would be less concerned
Wait.
about the...
One moment. Trey.
Yeah.
I forgot your character's name is kind of hard to pronounce.
Sinead.
Yeah.
She nude.
Shinood. Can you make sure we're not overheard?
She nude.
Yeah,
She
I'll,
need
I'll
over
flick
there.
on my Ixion damper.
Okay.
You can speak freely.
He goes, I would be much less worried about the emergency house call vote and much more concerned about the last and most recent vote that was just put on the docket for this upcoming meeting, which is House Corinthia's declaration of Canley.
Against whom?
He looks at you.
Indeed.
And if I were you, one friend to another, I would be more interested in their sudden backbone and willingness to declare open Canley, and who may be providing them with the confidence that they'll win. And then he kind of looks over towards the bed at the Talaxu technology, and then he looks back at you, and he says, you'll be moved to appropriate accommodations. And he begins to leave.
And the matter that we were speaking of?
What matter?
Exactly.
He walks off.
What the hell is Canley?
War?
And yeah,
Oh,
Canley is
shit.
the Dune official declaration of war, but it's not like open war. It's like spy assassins war. So
It's
We are
official declaration of Cold War.
basically, yes.
We are officially going to try to assassinate everyone.
Right. So they're very proper in the world of Dune. So they don't want to affect any of the citizenship. So they
Yeah.
declare Canley, which basically means we're allowed to openly try and assassinate you, and you're allowed to openly try and assassinate us.
Hmm.
Well, that was a fantastic use of an asset, I think.
Yeah. That was important information.
All right. So we're voting to remove House Harkonnen. That's fucking nuts. And Corinthia's wants to do Canley. Okay.
Yeah. And so I think on that note, it is midnight now, your guys' time. So I think we'll make that our last scene, unless there is something else you guys want to touch on briefly. And we can pick back up with you guys having been moved and the royal family arriving next session.
That works.
All right. So
I didn't need my inside informant. But I guess I can still use him next turn.
yeah, you can
Next-
pick some else. Quick kind of few questions. So this session, I'm trying to spread out the conflicts a little bit more. Thoughts on that as having like espionage, intrigue versus all combat. I know we have kind of a wide-ranging group, so I'm trying to make sure that we spread it out a little bit and not have only combat conflicts. So thoughts on that? We want more combat, I guess, less combat. I don't think we can have less combat.
I mean, I'm still kind of like wrapping my mind around the game system.
Mhm.
Okay.
This is much more narrative than I'm used to.
It is a lot of it is.
In terms of like,
It's
you
kind
know,
it's kind of like joint narrative making. You kind of gotta. Yeah.
I guess is that bad, good, or indifferent at the moment. I mean,
It's still no, it's still. I'm enjoying it.
I feel like
I'm
this
enjoying
session
it,
was
like-
very narrative heavy because we're setting a lot of stuff up, but I feel like the next couple sessions are going to be more combat, assassination oriented.
Yeah,
We've
I
got
mean,
a target to go at, and we're about to get the go ahead to go at them in the open. So
yeah. I mean, we got to put the work in to get the payoff later.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
I
No,
would say,
I'm
have
enjoying
they-
it. I'm
they
just saying,
haven't
it's
openly
just,
declared Canley yet, have they?
no, that's going to be on the vote that we're at right now.
Okay, I got a plan then, but go ahead, Jim.
I was just saying. I like the game. I'm just trying to like wrapping my head around the system, and kind of getting into it. It's definitely like this is a different style of game than I'm used to. So, and it's not
Sure.
like it's not none of this is like directed at you, Chris. It's just the game system itself where I'm just like, okay.
Right.
Like
No.
I'm very used to like pushing minis around the map, and we're just kind of like this is all theater of the mind, like
yeah.
in there.
No, it's definitely a lot more narrative, and like I said, and you can tell a game based on like its systems that it built. So the fact that it has like espionage, intrigue, political conflicts, that it almost treats as combat, in addition to combat.
Yeah, we
it's a
kind
game
of touched
design.
that. You gave me that espionage kind of combat role, so
Yeah.
we touched a piece of it. So
What-
getting there.
And the blackmail event was a contested intrigue conflict, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so it's like I said, there's a lot of different conflicts in there, but so as far as the direction goes, did you guys feel directionless, too much rails, too many specific missions, or
Well, I had no idea what was going on in the beginning, obviously, because I just joined. I missed the last session, so I felt like once we got past that first scene, I was cool. I felt like the rest of the scenes didn't last overly long, so we're kind of jumping from scene to scene, which is good. I think.
I think the bumpers are important in the sense that we're still all trying to figure out kind of how this game plays out and what our roles are going to be in that game, because again, like it's a completely different than any game I've ever played, because I mean I'm brand new to D&D for the most part, so like this is a very different game, which is cool, and I'm totally here for it. The only thing I would ask, like, and I don't know if this would have made sense in this session or not, but like I am a very like the way I need to see something, like for me, so like as you were going through the narratives and stuff, I was actually using some of the artwork from the book to kind of just like make a sense in my head, just because the artwork is so beautiful in the book. And then like when you brought the city up, like fuck yeah, okay, I'm there, like I'm in my head, like I'm there. Like the more scene setting like art, or just something for like my mind to start to create like the environment where the characters are, would definitely help me get to that jump a little further, because I'm not as creative, like my mind just doesn't really work that way as well. So like the thing is like if you set the theater, like we're saying it's theater of the mind, but if you give me a stage, then I can see the characters moving and playing it out on the stage, and like really get involved in like what's happening. Whereas when I'm just trying to think it all through in my head and what that would look like then I almost get myself like falling behind in the narrative, because I'm trying to develop the background that this is all happening in. I don't know if anybody else had that issue, or if that's just me new to this situation, but that was something like I was just like, as soon as the map of the city came up, I was like, okay, fuck yeah, all right, now I'm seeing the city. Like that's just me though.
okay.
No, John needs more visuals.
Yeah,
No, I
baby,
mean, that's-
baby needs some direction.
That's good. No, that's great feedback, because like one of the biggest struggles is like how much theater of the mind versus
Sure.
not Theater of the Mind. So yeah,
Right,
I
but
appreciate
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, just like a picture helps
Yeah.
me develop a background. Like, the artwork in the book is just so beautiful, and like, I know there's so much Dune lore and information and stuff, and I know, like, as a D, like, I'm dipping my toes into the DM role too. Like, setup's a bitch sometimes, but like, yeah, just having just some more visual aid. And I'm
Okay.
not talking like full gridded maps and like
Sure.
how hardcore we go with like what Trey and Jim have done for like D&D, but like just a little bit more, just some picture book esque stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
That would help
I
me.
agree with John, and I guess one suggestion I would have, I don't know, I didn't use them a whole lot in my game, but I had my line graphs, like my line tables, and I had different line tables based on like an urban environment versus a dungeon environment versus a wooded environment. And it doesn't have to be an exact depiction of the scene you're trying to
Right.
create, just something to for our minds to grab onto other than just like a blank slate or whatever. It's like, for instance, when we started out with the ship crash,
Yeah.
I know that was probably a planned scene, so we jumped into that first. Just any picture of a downed ship. Doesn't have to be like in a specific setting or anything. Just any kind of background image or whatever would be helpful there. Just kind of get the juices flowing.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then I would say really the only hiccup I feel like we had this session was mostly on us. Me and Jim were trying to get those coordinates to fit into what we're doing right here, right now. How many fucking ways can I try to massage this into getting it to work right here, right now? I feel like we pulled back from that and we said, okay, we're this is not going to tie into what's happening right now. We're moving on. I feel like that scene drug on just a tiny bit too much.
That was more our fault than I
Yeah,
So-
and that's more on us than
Well,
you really. But I feel
I
like
mean,
all
that's-
the other scenes that we ran through, everything went very
Yeah, it was
smoothly.
smooth. It was
We
real
got all
smooth.
the
So-
information that we needed out of them. There was a good bit of dialogue and role playing and stuff going on. Just that one instance where we found that information on the ship that didn't immediately tie into what we're doing. We may need a little bit more direction on stuff like that to tell us that's going to come back later versus that is something we have an answer for right now.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was about to kind of ask is this being more of an intrigue and obviously political style game in some senses, there may be some puzzle collecting. Like, I don't know if there's a way to kind of get around the like puzzle piece collecting before you have the whole picture.
I think
So,
as we get,
do you
as we get more used to how you're DMing,
Yeah.
and how the game works, like we'll
Mechanics,
be able
yeah.
to figure it out.
well, in the sense
know?
of my DMing, so do you want me to be more quick to just abruptly pull the ripcord, like come out and be like, even if it's a little bit meta, just be like,
I would say if
like,
we ask
she's
the
gonna
same-
respond in this direction every time.
Yeah, if we ask the same question 3 different ways, go ahead and pull us out.
Okay.
Because we will keep on. Okay, did we ask her this question? Is this the word? Maybe that's the word. Let's go back and look at these words. I want to say all these words and see what she says. At that point, we're getting her face a 10 and ass a 9. But I feel like at that point, just pull us out. Say, all right, guys, this is information that's going to come back later. It doesn't necessarily pertain to what we're doing right now.
Okay.
And here's the other thing too, like to the point, this is a different type of game. I like the idea of puzzle solving and the narrative and like the storytelling piece of it, and how there is like the espionage, politicking, and like actual violence, and like I love the Dune world or the environment, and so for me, like visual aid, since I'm not that strong visually.
Right.
It's not my skill set, and so it's and I know, and I'll say this too, like I know for a fact Aaron Cadella, like he and I are very similar in the fact that like something to visually grab us would help a lot. But then also like I mean, to everybody else's point, it felt like everything moved pretty smoothly. Like I mean, I was following along, like everybody's there, like we're moving into a story and developing these characters, and for me it's figuring out where my role as a character fits, where everybody else fits, how we play off of each other, and how we're going to like role play with each other. Like that is just going to be part of, I think, us getting used to this and playing together, which I'm totally here for. So
Yeah, I
So-
agree. And I feel like we need to remember that there are ways to insert certain aspects and dynamics into scenes. So, like,
Yeah.
if we're doing a scene that's got a lot of talking and shit in it, John, if you want to fuck some shit up, feel free to spend 2 momentum,
Right.
and you can put a bad guy into a scene so we can move into a little mini combat or something,
Sure.
and put more stuff in your character's wheelhouse until we figure out what your character is going to be doing during the
Sure.
the talky talk scenes that aren't necessarily his bread and butter.
Well, and so like, and I'm also happy to take a back seat in those moments and be like I said, the goal is in my head, the way Jack O'Neill's playing out is a protector of his friends and what he perceives as his family and his core group that he is
Okay.
going to trust to basically guide him into whatever, guide the family and the house in the right direction. He's there to basically be the big stick if it needs to be. And so I'm totally cool with that, and I'm enjoying listening to the conversations. And Jack's gonna have some witty or some dumbass shit to say from time to time, and I think that's gonna be fun. It's just like I said, for me, this is really a learning session, or a learning like the next couple of times, just like really figuring out, because again, this was a lot of setup, like I mean a ton of setup to figure out what's going on in our world with our house that we just built. So I think there's going to be sessions like this where we're having to figure that out, and there's not going to be combat or much for me to do, and that's I'm totally cool with, because again, I'm enjoying the story and the characters being developed. So
Yeah,
Yeah, there will definitely be combat moving forward. Like
Sure.
I have some ideas of where combat stuff is. We didn't get to them this particular session.
Sure,
Part
yeah.
of and you guys can, I guess this is my last question that I had written down was for some feedback for us. And part of that is on like how I'm trying to do the scene direction, which is like I said, I'm trying to give you guys a few, like what I see is a few of the major scenes that you guys are probably directed to, and then you guys can come up with other scenes if you want to do something completely different, or you can kind of pick the order of scenes that you want to venture to. So is that something that, do you guys feel like that's working? Do you prefer me to be more direct with my scenes or less direct?
I think for right now, until we all kind of get a better handle on it, like rails are our friend.
yeah,
Right.
I agree.
You know,
And that's why I'm trying to give you a few options.
I
Yeah.
for a
felt
scene
comfortable
selection.
with this, like the way the scenes we were doing.
Okay.
I don't feel like my ability to make decisions was taken away whatsoever. I mean, I honestly felt like my ability to make a call into the story if I wanted to was always there. It was just, this is a good direction for the story to progress in an interesting way. And so like I said, I felt good about it.
Okay. Well, if any of that changes, like I said, let me know. Also, I don't want you guys to feel like I'm taking away your ability, because a lot of the stuff for momentum and everything else is like creating traits or creating assets or creating, those types of things on the fly. So jump in whenever you want to do any of that stuff. I'm not trying to cut you guys off from doing that. Like I said, I'm mostly just trying to provide some direction for you guys if you want to use it or if you feel like you need it.
Yeah.
So, and most of the time that's just by reiterating kind of the goals that have already been kind of stated.
yeah.
I guess,
I think
in the
I'm
book, so.
gonna go out this week and actually buy the book and read it.
It's a beautiful fucking book, and it has a good like history of the Dune lore and everything. So
Yeah, well, I mean, one of my problems, like I hate, because I sit at my computer fucking all day. So like if I have to
Looking at digital text.
like if I have to read a book on like from a PDF, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself.
you can.
So,
I'm pretty sure you can buy the hard copy of the book.
yeah, well,
Yeah, you can.
I'll head up to my game store
Yeah.
and see it. They may actually have it.
Yeah.
If not, they'll order it for me and I'll get it.
And Modifius is a pretty big
Hmm.
producer. I mean, they make like a lot of different games, so
Yeah.
they're pretty popular. So then, last but not least, next session, 22nd. How we looking?
That's what.
2 weeks from now?
Yeah, that's not
22nd.
fine.
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah, that works perfect for me because the 29th I'm not here. So
Okay.
Okay, great. So I'm booking it down for the 22nd. We will converge then.
I probably can't make it.
What?
Yeah, my brother's coming in for the weekend.
tell him to watch. I'm just-
I could do
All
next week, but I can't. Yeah, I can't do the 22nd.
Well,
I
we'll shoot.
can't. I can't do next week. I got plans on Friday.
We'll shoot. We're trying to stick to the 2 weeks thing, so we'll shoot for the 22nd. And
If
See how
worst
that
case
goes.
scenario, we couldn't do either of those and we need to do the 29th, I could do the 29th. I'll just be tired the next morning. That's fine.
I mean, you guys can do a session without me as well.
yeah, no,
Matt,
we'll still plan for the
stop it.
22nd as long as
Beautiful,
Aaron,
beautiful man. We want everyone here.
as
Well-
long as Aaron decides to show up.
We'll take you along as an asset. It'll be fine.
There you go.
Amazon has the hardcover for 46. There's a couple soft covers for like in the 30s.
No, I know Amazon has it. I would rather get it from my local store.
Sure.
Support your local game store, John.
Listen, man, I live in Oklahoma. I'm trying to find some decent ones. It's hard here.
The nearest local game store to John is in Georgia. Come on.
I look up local game store and you realize here it's hunting and cattle. So it's
You can buy direct from Modiphius.
You can buy. You can. There's got to be a local game store in OKC.
there are. There's several. I'm
There's
just
a
fucking around. Yeah.
Bunch of fucking nerds in OKC.
Yeah, the nerdum is real here too. So yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, guys. Like I said, it was fun. I think
Yeah.
We'll continue to kind of experiment, see how it goes, and like I said, I'm excited.
Yeah, hell yeah,
I
man.
do think it's a lot. I think it was a lot of setup tonight. I apologize. I don't know if there's really a good way of getting around that with
Oh, that's just part of it,
narrative.
man.
No, you
Part of
gotta
part of
put
the
the work
story.
in to get the set off to
Yeah.
get the
Yeah,
payoffs
like-
later. Like
You gotta set the foundation for the world and like this is just part of us all figuring it out too. So I'm all for it, man. I think it was
oh,
great.
I do have a question. Who saw Dune? Like the movie, the new one.
I
did.
did.
have.
I think we all
Is
have.
it worth watching?
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
It's awesome.
Okay.
It's beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing. Like even if
Yeah, I loved
even
it.
if you don't
Alright.
know like how they're gonna go with the story and you know what your opinion is like
I mean,
with the
they-
lore, it's still a fantastic movie.
It's in 2 parts, so this is part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Of
know.
the first. It's
It's-
part 1 of the first book.
Yeah. They
It's-
split the book into 2 parts. Yeah.
And I have some like small nitpicky complaints about
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but
Sure.
in general, it's like
It's just a beautiful
Yeah.
movie, man.
It
The
is
shots
visually-
are amazing.
yeah.
The music,
Oh,
the
yeah.
soundtrack. I was a big fan.
And Duncan Idaho's a badass.
Duncan Idaho
yeah.
is a fucking badass.
Yeah,
Duncan
absolutely.
Idaho.
Hashtag Jason Momoa for life.
I'm sad we didn't.
Daddy
Get to,
Jason Momoa.
I'm sad we didn't get to see more Gurney because Gurney's so fucking.
Yeah, Gurney was
badass,
cool too. Yeah.
Giles is
I-
raising hell in fucking.
Is he
Twitch.
again?
No, it's awful. It's literally fucking terrible.
Okay.
No.
First off,
oh my
Giles has the
God.
worst taste in music and movies, so he can suck a dick.
Wait,
I will say I
there's
prefer
somebody,
the
there's
sci-fi
somebody
channel
watching
version.
us on.
Yeah,
on
Giles.
Twitch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my buddy
The
Giles.
guys we play
That-
Call of Duty with.
He's waiting for me to come play Call of Duty.
That's
so
the problem, though, is that the sci-fi one was so good about sticking to the book and the
Yeah.
story.
The miniseries.
Yeah.
The miniseries
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fantastic.
and like really highlighting like what are probably the more controversial points of Dune with like the religious kind of zealotry and stuff.
Yeah.
But the new movie is just visually
Yeah,
like
it's
leaps
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
It
leaps
is.
above
It
but-
is
It's sci-fi.
a mile
Lawrence of
wide
Arabia.
and it's about an inch deep. It's,
Yeah,
there's less. There's less story, intrigue, and politics in
Yeah.
the Denis Villeneuve movie than there is in the first episode of the sci-fi miniseries. But the sci-fi miniseries first episode is like an hour and a half,
Yeah, it's awesome.
and they
too.
covered more ground than the movie did. Now the movie's beautiful to look at, but if you want to get a good idea of
I
Dune
saw.
and Frank Herbert's world, the sci-fi series is
It's on
incredible.
YouTube, by the way.
And
I
It's on
had-
YouTube, all
I
20
had
parts
the
or
sci-
whatever.
I had the sci-fi miniseries on DVD at one point.
Yeah, I've got it
Um,
too. I've got it. in
I
DVD.
I recorded that shit on VHS.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
When it came
Yeah.
out.
We had it on VHS too.
But I mean that's the problem though is the material is so fucking
It's very
thick and
dense.
deep. Yeah, that and that's why most people don't make it through. If anything, they'll make it through the first book, and then especially when you start getting into freaking like Dune Messiah or Heretics of Dune, then you start getting like, well, let me start telling you about the history of the Bene Gesserit and
Right.
how they've set this up and shit, and people are like, what? I've lost it. But
So
Yeah, I'm almost
so
through
it's
the
like
first book, and it's
so it's
crazy
like an
the
entire
difference.
book's worth of the Council of Elrond, is what you're saying? Like,
there is a lot of it. There's a lot of things, yeah.
Just a lot of like word salad craziness.
But it all makes sense, which is like it's all very cleverly done. Like you think about like the effectively, there's like what, like a triple backstab in the main story where like House Carino is backstabbing Harkonnen to put Atreides in power, but is secretly actually working with the Harkonnen to backstab Atreides, who
Yes,
is
it's too popular.
secretly, which the Harkonnen is secretly working with like nobody to backstab both of them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's ridiculous, and it
It's
all
quad-
makes sense.
The classic quadruple cross.
Yeah. And then it's like, and then the whole time, you know, fuck you, Bene Gesserit. Seriously.
All right,
If you
I'm gonna go
haven't read
pass
the
out.
entire
I gotta
series-
drive in the
Yeah.
morning.
Trey,
Alright,
have a fantastic evening, sir.
All right, y'all take it easy.
Yeah.
like, if you haven't read the entire series,